Today, you will be using this raw data, and with the help of this and the Tableau, you will be creating this amazing dashboard for the Airbnb. If you are an aspiring data analyst and working with Tableau or Power BI, then you should do this project end to end and add it in your resume to get more number of job opportunities. This is not going to be a very basic project. You will be doing all these things end to end, starting from the data analysis, business requirement, KPIs, what kind of charts you need to build, what kind of dashboard you need to create, the business insights. All this kind of things you will be doing, like the entire journey of creating an insightful dashboard, and you will be learning a lot from this 3 hour of video. So make sure to watch it till the very end and implement this project hand to hand. The data set and all the scripts, the link has been given in the description. You can download it and practice it on your own, and let us know in the comment section which project we should bring next. Either it should be with Tableau or Power BI. Also, you can suggest the data domain or a specific case study you want us to cover, and we will definitely do that. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to get the notification of those videos. Also, make sure to like this video in the big numbers to help other aspiring data analysts. And after the long wait of 4-5 months, and after helping many aspiring data engineers to crack high packages across the globe for the data engineer role, like the 2CR package, 1CR package, 80 LPA, 75 LPA, finally we are starting the new batch, which is Data Engineering 4.0 with AWS. And again, this is going to be a live classroom batch for all the aspiring data engineers. You don't need any kind of prerequisite, doesn't matter what kind of background you are coming from. This will be a complete basic to advanced 3 months of bootcamp, all live classes. And in this bootcamp, I will take you from zero to hero journey of the data engineering from the very basic. You just need to know a very basic Python, which you can cover on your own in a week itself. Live classes are going to start from 9th of November. So admissions are open, and only for few seats we have started the early bird offer. So you can use a coupon code FIRST50, and starting 50 users will be getting this amazing exclusive early bird offer on the Data Engineering 4.0 with AWS bootcamp. In this bootcamp, apart from the modern tech stack like the Snowflake, Databricks, Kafka, Airflow, BigQuery, GCP, and complete AWS cloud agnostic project, I have added few more important add-ons like the Apache Flink for real-time stream data processing, and the Iceberg and Apache Hudi, and many cool projects around these tech stack. So this is what you will be getting in this new edition of the Data Engineering Bootcamp, and the exposure of more than 12 plus industry grade projects end to end, including the deployment and many projects around the GCP and AWS agnostic data pipelines as well. You will be getting dedicated placement assistance here, including the daily and regular job posting, plus dedicated resume and LinkedIn profile building sessions, personalized one-on-one sessions with me, continuous offline doubt support on the private Discord groups, plus the doubt support after the live classes itself. And all these things at a very affordable price with quality content, which will help you to kickstart your journey in the data engineering and crack your dream salary package as well. The enrollment link has been given in the description, or you can visit www.growdataskills.com to join this bootcamp, and make sure to use the early bird offer, applicable only for first 50 users. So use this code FIRST50. And if you have any doubt or query, you can always call or drop a WhatsApp message on this number. We will instantly resolve your query. So what are you waiting for? Enroll right now, and I will see you in the live classes.
Okay, cool. So the agenda for today's class and today's and tomorrow's class will be creating a project on hospitality domain. By hospitality domain, we mean we can have like a number of things. So motels, hotels, those kind of places where they have to maybe play with the stays of the visitors. So whenever there is a visitors data or hotels data, some I would say logistics movements data, then it's fall under the domain of hospitality. To be very specific, we'll be talking about Airbnb. I hope you all know about Airbnb. It's an app which will let you book a room in there, whatever like houses and the hotels are registered there, and you can then have a stay. Again, it's just a name. When you are recreating it, you can give it any other name. You can give it a hotel name, I would say some name of a chain of any hotel you can give, or maybe change it by OYO or something else. Okay, so it's up to you. How do you want to claim it? Because the metrics, the KPIs of all these kind of dashboards will look similar, right? Because if I'm dealing with, let's say, hotel data, what information or insight would I need? I would need how many bookings happened, how many booking got cancelled, how many reviews I got for my hotel, which month was the peak month for my hotel bookings, what was the charges or the revenue which I'm generating from this room. So these are the kind of KPIs, right? And if you think holistically, these will remain same across all the platform. OYO, some other make my trip data, some other again yatra.com data. So you can change the domain accordingly. You can change the vertical accordingly. Domain will remain similar. Okay. So today I'll try to include a bit more complexity. So last time we saw complexity where we included all that self-serve analytics and the server entire analysis as well. In this project, I'll start to add some more complexity. I'll introduce some Python as well. Okay. If you're not comfortable in Python, again, it's not a blocker, because what I will be using Python for is to generate small amount of data for me. If it's not your ballpark, if you are not interested in Python, you can skip that part where I will be generating the data. Anyway, when we have generated the data by Python, I will be giving the CSVs also. Okay, so don't worry if you're not comfortable with Python, I would say. But if anyone wants to learn, if anyone wants to see what kind of scripts we might require in real life as well. So I'll give you a brief glimpse of Python as well. Okay, so this project will include Python into it as well. Okay, so starting from the basics, we'll have some data. We'll see that data. We'll try to see what kind of columns exist. We'll try to do some kind of EDA. Then we will see what are the business problem statements into that data. And then we'll move the data to Snowflake. We'll get the wireframe, and then we'll get the dashboard, and then we'll deploy it. Okay, we'll deploy it both places, in Tableau public as well, in Tableau server as well, so that if any one of you hasn't set up the server yet, they will be able to do it in Tableau public. If you have set up the server with the help of Tableau developer program, you can do the same thing in your own server. Now I will come to the data which we are going to play with. So I will go here, maybe on my Mac. I will open Airbnb data. Okay, give me a second. It should have been. Okay, maybe I will convert this to CSV. Give me a sec. Data, text to column. Okay, so this you won't need to do. I messed up the data, that's why it was happening. But yeah, you will receive, let's say, the data in this format. Okay, let me format this very quickly. Home, add some borders, and add some filters in here. Okay, so let me add, give me a sec, filters in. Okay, so you have received couple of columns, and this is Airbnb data, for example. So again, I told you earlier. Oh, give me a sec. By mistake, I have started some other recording. Okay, perfect. So Airbnb may you can do the bookings from your application, and there will be certain type of room, certain kind of location which you can book, and the owners will be getting that money, and some part of that entire money will be taken by the Airbnb, right? So kind of a broker. Now we have cut a couple of columns, the useful columns here, which the client has shared with us. So for example, if I'm making a booking of, let's say, some hotel on Airbnb, I would be arriving there at some time, right? So we have arrival date, year, month, and let's say the date. So again, I made this dedicatedly because I wanted to tell you that it's never that you will find the dates in one column only. You can get the dates in different columns as well. You should be able to combine them into a single date. That's the purpose here. We have some arrival date, month as well, like in which month a customer is arriving. We have some owner information. Now, if you see this, owner information is just owner IDs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, blah, blah. I don't see any owner name, the owner, other metadata or other information for owner. For example, the phone number of the owner, or maybe some image of the owner, maybe the gender of the owner. I don't find this information here, right? So we need that information, because by just IDs, let's say the client is telling me to show some owner information, I can't show him just the IDs, right? So I'll try to tell you how we can join the data, create the data for the owners, and then I'll tell you how do we join that with this data set as well. Okay. Then we have room types. So room types again are written A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, K. So again, these are also room type IDs. Okay. So whenever you get data in real life, it could be happening that you are getting just the IDs. Okay. So you will need to join the data with the other important information, that what is A representing here, what is D representing here. So then it implies that we'll be having some different table, which will be called as dimension table for the room types. Okay. That will be having the information of these room types. We will be having a separate table for the owners that will be having the owner information. Okay. Then here is again company information. So if some companies have registered their rooms on Airbnb, so we have that information, in which country the transaction has happened. So the country code and country name. If I show you this customer type, so we have again some contract, transient party. Again, different kind of customers could be there. Some customer could stay there for just few days, and some could book it for, like, I would say, a month or two. I can have deposit type. So either customer hasn't deposited money as of now, or he would have done that payment already, right? So you can book any EMIs, all those kind of options are present. That's why this deposit type is present here. We have something called distribution channel. So if I show you, there is written that it's either direct booking has been happened directly by the customer, or some corporate has done it for their entire employees. So I was showing you the column called distribution channel. So how the booking has been made could be done by the corporate for their employees, could be direct, or this is TATO. TA means travel agent, or TO means travel operators. Agents mean you might be having some shops, they would have done the booking. Operator means Paytm or other booking application which let you book the Airbnbs from their platform, right? So just telling you how the data looks like in the hospitality domain. Then we have something called Airbnb type. What kind of rooms are there? Room could be present in a prime location or a non-prime location. We have something called segment. Segment is again, it's more detailed information on the distribution type. So we have offline travel agent or travel operator, online travel operator, direct corporate, complementary. Complementary is, for example, if I'm buying some credit card, a credit card company could offer me like, okay, you bought my credit card, you are paying me annual subscription. That's why I take this 2, I would say, visits free of cost, right? So that's why this complementary is also present here. We have something called meal. If they have booked some meal, the information is present here. These are just the codes. Here we have some groups as well, which will be representing what the code means. We have the reservation status. So have they canceled their reservation, or have they checked out, means the entire journey has been happened, or they never showed up, right? This thing is group. Let me check what's present here. Okay, so this group, I don't think I'll need it, because here we just have column called cancelled and checkout, and here I already have it, cancelled, checkout, and no show. So I think this we can create in the front end if we need it. Okay, so always delete the column which you think you do not require. Same thing for this, I believe. This is representing breakfast, full board, half board, and no meal. And if I see here, it's BB, FB, HB. Okay, let's try to see, is it one-to-one mapping or not. I'll go here. I'll delete the duplicates from this entire table. Okay, so yes, it's a one-to-one mapping. So, and okay, wait, I copied the wrong things. I should have copied these two columns. Copy, go here, paste, remove duplicates. Okay, so BB is breakfast, FB is full board, HB is half board, and SC is no meal. Okay, so maybe we can create these groups directly in the Tableau also, or you can import this column also. It doesn't hamper anything. So let's think of it in this way, that we require this column, so we'll keep it in our data also. Okay, we have something called status date, when the reservation was happened. We have something called reservation type room, A, B, C, D, E, F. Again, doesn't tell us what exact kind of room it's present here. And if I am not wrong, we found the same information here as well, assign room type. So this column, room type, and reserved room type, right? So these two columns are same, I believe. I will quickly check. I will select this column. So this kind of analysis you always do beforehand, so that you know or you understand your data right. Okay, you can't just simply see the data, import it, start creating table or views on top of it. You have to understand your data first. Okay, so let's say this is the column, and I think this column is already present in here. So what I will do is I will copy both these columns. Maybe I will paste them here. I will remove the duplicates. And I can see these are not the same columns, because here it's similar, but some cases I am seeing where they are mismatching as well. Right, so I can't just delete one column and say, okay, I already have that information. So what has happened is, let's say if I talk about this person, right, he booked a reserved, like reservation mean you can just go to app and say that I need this room. He hasn't paid for it yet. He'll go to the Airbnb or hotel, and then he'll do the payment of, let's say, okay, I want this room, or okay, I don't like this room, I'll change my room to something else. So that's the information which is represented here, that even though a customer has reserved a room, they can either get the same room or they can get a different room as well. Okay, so we will need both this column. These are not the same column, and I can't just simply delete one column because the names look similar. Okay, so this is also a tip for you. How do you find the insight? How do you know are the two columns same or not? If there would have been one-to-one mapping, means if it was it was D, let's say it was A. If data was in this way, then I could have concluded that, okay, I don't need two columns. Both of them are telling me the same thing. Okay, so I will delete this. I will delete this. I will go next. Company, I think, okay, I went in the back. I was showing you reservation room type, and we have concluded that, okay, we need this information. It's not already present there. Then we have something called ADRs. Okay, if I show you something on Google, see here. It's kind of a domination. Again, it could be euro, could be in dollars as well, but ADR means something they have deposited the rupees of. So think of it as a currency. If you think, okay, ADR sounds a bit difficult for you, you're not getting the exact meaning of this column. How things work is, you go to client, you tell them, boss, what is the meaning of this column? And then they will tell you that, okay, this is the meaning of this column. And then you can rename that column accordingly. Okay, so it's not that always you will get the intuitional columns into the future. Give me a sec. Yeah. Sometime you might get some column which you don't know the meaning about, or which are not intuitional. Then you will need to go back to the client or maybe ask them for the data dictionary. Data dictionary kinds of tells like what kind of columns are there, what are the meaning of those columns, those kind of things. Okay, so if let's say this is not intuitional for you, so you can write something called revenue, or maybe amount paid, because this is the amount paid by customers, right? So you can rename it to amount paid. And then we have something called how many people are coming to the hotel slash Airbnb. So if let's say one booking can have a number of people, right? So let's say for this reservation, there were 2 adults, no babies were there, and no children. Again, just 2 columns for the babies and children. I think we have one column for children as well. I will move it here. Yeah. So these 2 columns will tell me how many people are coming for the Airbnb or for the hotel. Now the booking charges, booking changes, right? If I show you here, if I apply any one filter, okay, booking changes is one of the column which as of now we don't know any information about, right? So this is also that one biggest column which we will need to maybe go back to the client and tell them that, okay, has there any change, but what's the meaning of this column? By just seeing the column, it implies that, okay, people can change their bookings. Okay, but one outlier for you could be, okay, if I'm saying that customer or people can change their booking, they can change the booking for one time, they can do it for 2 or 3 or 4 times, but 20 times. So this is how do you identify outliers, by just seeing the things intuitionally. Okay, because if the booking changes means you can change your bookings on the app, but if someone in your data, you're getting a data value or data point is 20, you might highlight this to the client that is it even possible someone can change their booking 20 times. If they are fine, you can show this data to the client in the dashboard. Okay, so always see the column, try to guess what the column means, see the values present in that column, and then try to guess could this be outlier or not. So when you go to internet or YouTube, they will tell you create a box and plot chart, create a whisker plot to find outliers. But in real life, you can simply see the data and try to guess it. Because even if I create, let's say, histogram, box and plot gram for this entire information, right? I will get only this information that, okay, 20 is outlier. But why do I need to create those charts? I already can see all the values and I can, based on the column type, I can guess it, right? So it's not always about using some modern techniques, By just seeing the data, by understanding the data, you can get insights that what is wrong in my data. Okay, this is called domain level knowledge or analyst level knowledge, right? It's not never about just creating chart to find what's wrong with my data. Okay, so then again, we have column called days in waiting list. So if someone is on a waiting list, that information is present here. If someone cancels their program, that is represented by 0 or 1. Generally, 0 means not cancelled, 1 means they have cancelled it. If someone is a repeat guest, we will have a flag for that. As of now, we have everything as 0. That means no one is a repeat in here. It's a lead time. Lead time means how much time it would have taken for him after doing the booking to coming to the room or to the hotel, right? We have something called previous booking not cancelled. So whenever let's say I'm a recurring customer to the old Airbnb, and in the past I have cancelled a lot of bookings. Now when in the future I will try to book something, right? Airbnb would already have the data that this guy keep on canceling his bookings again and again. They might try to give me less discounts or maybe not let me cancel the booking, those kind of things. Okay, so they track the data till this level. Then we have previous cancellations. Then we have, do I need require parking services, or how much time I'm going to stay in there, right? So that is present in nights, weeknights, and the weekend nights, right? So again, you just need to sum both of them to get how many days I'm going to stay in there. We have something called special requests. So if I have some special requests, I can tell them that, okay, I need this also, and they can arrange it. And let's say customers have given us reviews as well. Now, if I see this column, I know that reviews has values from 1 to 5. Okay, which makes sense. From 5, rate me out of 5, right? Now, if in this column I would have some value of, let's say, 50 or 100, then that means it's an error, right? So you don't always need to create some very fancy chart. Just see the data and try to analyze, does this make sense or not? Here, reviews are from 1 to 5. Yes, it does make sense. They can have the reviews from 1 to 5, right? If someone has given 1 rating, that means they haven't enjoyed their, I would say, trip much, right? I'll take a pause here. I'll tell you, I'll ask one question. How do you think Airbnb or any hospitality company gets this data? How are they getting reviews? How are they getting, let's say, maybe I'll go here. Has they canceled something in the past? How many children are coming? What's the workflow in real life? How the data gets generated? Can anyone tell me in the chat? Surveys data, okay. So actually, survey data would be okay for ratings. It could be survey data, right? But does Airbnb operates offline? Yeah, Junaid said this thing, right? No. Perfect. So this data always, when you do any booking, right, they have different kind of text fields, drop downs, rate me out of 5. The star came, right? The star come in the UI. So all those things which you fill in the app. Is there any special booking? Maybe select the amenities you require, right? All those things are captured in the backend. The app generates the data and you get this data in the backend. Okay. So app sends the data to the database. Databases, by the way, are called OLTP systems. OLTP means transactional systems. Okay. So all these transactions are happening and they're saving the data in the database. Then companies usually just copy the data and post it to OLAP systems. OLAP means analytical systems. Okay. That's why A is present. And OLAP systems are data warehouses. So data first goes from app to the database. Database could be PostgreSQL, MySQL, MongoDB. Then companies take that data, move it to warehouse. Warehouse could be Redshift, maybe GCP, Google Cloud Platform, BigQuery. It could be Snowflake. It could be any warehouse you can think about, right? So this is how the data flows. And once the data is in, I would say, warehouse, you get this entire data. Okay, so this is a journey of data from a customer to the database, to the warehouse, to the analyst, which we'll be working upon. Okay, so it's good to know how the data which you are getting gets generated in the backend. Okay, so this was the data. Again, I told you we'll need to do some more processing on the data. For example, if I show you this owner information, as you know, it's just owner ID. Okay, now you need more information about owner. Let's say you need their names, you need their phone numbers, and you need, let's say, their images as well. Because client has asked you to show this information on the dashboard, and as of now, you don't have that information. Ideal approach how this works in real life is you go back and find which table or which dimension table is representing that information, In our case, I will go one step back. I'll say, let's say this table doesn't exist in the backend, or maybe you are creating some project and you want to create some dummy data. How will we create that data? That I'm going to show you today. Again, I'm going to use Python for that. Okay. So first, I'll tell you what kind of information is present in this owner column. Again, if you want to see the distinct values, always try to remove the dupes first. If I remove duplicates, see, these are the owner information. Okay. So if I need, let's say, one column called owner name, owner phone, owner image, for example. Okay. Owner means the owner of Airbnb here. Okay. Now, this is my data which I require. As of now, again, in the companies, you will find this data anywhere in the warehouse. But let's say for our sake, because we are doing everything end to end, we are creating tables. As of now, we don't have any data. Okay. How will you add these columns? Any ideas? If I give you this problem statement that you have this code, just add any dummy data in the names, phone and image, but do it in an automated way. Don't use one by one, add it in all the column, because there could be, let's say here we have just, I would say, let me see how many calls we have. We have 36 values, right? You can add it manually, but when we come work in real life, we could have millions of rows here as well. How will you add these information? Could be fake, could be dummy. How will you do it? Website data random function. Oh, damn. Yes. Yes, it's exactly right. So again, by website data, I'm not sure what you meant there, but I'm assuming you are saying that there exist some couple of websites which give you random images, URLs, and everything that we can use here. For the phone numbers, we can use random functions, right? Yes. Sakshi has also told that Python you can do it very easily with the help of just looping or iterating through all these things and using the random function, right? So I'll double tap on it so that if other people do not know, I'll tell you how do we do that. Also, have anyone heard about a library called Faker.js or maybe Faker library? Has anyone heard and used that? No, no. Okay. Yes, nice. So whenever you have to create some dummy project, okay, you always go to websites called Kaggle, some common websites, right? Or maybe GitHub. Sometimes you can create your data on your own as well, because even if I go to Kaggle, right? Let's say I got this data from Kaggle only, but Kaggle won't be like, if let's say now Kaggle gave me this information, but now I wanted more information about owner. How will you get that from Kaggle? You can't, right? So it's always good to know how will I create my data on my own. Okay, this you should have this skill in your like toolkit. That भाई सब कुछ नहीं मिलता internet पे. If you want customized data, you won't get it on the internet. That's what I'll try to tell you here. But before proceeding that, I found one fishy thing here. Can anyone tell me, is everything right with this owner column? These are IDs, by the way. Okay, maybe I will write owner IDs. Is there anything wrong with this owner ID column? Okay. Text. Actually, maybe you will need to elaborate that. I didn't get it, but yeah. Length. Okay. What do we mean by length? These are IDs. IDs could be random number from 0 to thousands also. Chaitanya told, right? See this column. Yeah, Sakshi also told. Missing value. Can an Airbnb room has missing like empty owner? Is it operational mistake? So whenever you get some bugs, right, could be multiple reasons. Could be that data exists in this way only, or could be that it's an operational mistake. But do we mean by operational mistakes? Operational mistakes means when you were creating a pipeline, then this mistake happened. Will this be operational mistake or the data exists in this way only? Can I have any Airbnb without any owner? Because again, doesn't make sense, right? You can't have any hotel without any owner. So when you get these kind of things, you have to think intuitionally, will it be data pipeline mistake or the data exists in this way only? If I had, let's say, some very random ID, okay, this could be an operational mistake, right? Or could be some typo, could be some weird thing happening, right? But this is obviously or this could be possible as well. We don't know how many rows existed in the owner ID, right? So by seeing this weird ID, I can't comment why this would have happened. Could be because of, let's say, my data pipeline gave weird ID. Could be because there exist these many kind of number of owners and it got assigned the ID. So sometimes when you see any error or see any fishy thing, try to get some insight that will it be operational mistake of your pipeline or your company, or the data exists in this way only. Generally, if I had built an app which let people to host their buildings, if I want owner information, you would have seen, right, that some fields in the forms are like marked as star, means mandatory. These kind of fields always are mandatory in the apps, right? So you can't have these fishy things in the data. So if you're getting this, you have to highlight internally to your team that was something is wrong here. Okay, so again, I have not planned anything, but I'm telling you how to just see the data and try to find ki kya galat hai, kya sahi hai. Okay, you don't need those kind of, I would say, fancy charts all the time to see, okay, something is fishy or not. Okay, so I'll take a pause here. Now, the problem statement I have shifted slightly. The problem statement is, for this data, how will I generate these three columns? I told you we'll need to use Python. So let me switch to VS Code. Is there anyone who doesn't know what is VS Code? Anyone in the chat? Like, you haven't never heard about VS Code? No, okay. So there VS Code is just a, you think of it as a notepad, but it is used for the writing code instead of text files. Okay. Whenever you have to write Python code or any code, you need some place to write. These places are called IDEs, development environments, and this is one of the IDE. If you don't have anything, you can download the VS Code or any IDE, the place where you can write code from the internet. These are free of cost. Okay. Now I'll try to create the data set. Again, if you are not comfortable with Python, again, don't feel overwhelmed. I'll give you the CSV in the backend. But if someone is already well versed, I'll just show them how do we do it. Okay. So maybe I'll write Airbnb.py file. So we are creating one script from scratch. First thing which we have to do is we have to import any library which we want. So maybe I'll use random library. So random will help me to generate random data. We can have pandas because I will need to work with data frames. And I told you there is a library called Faker. Okay, import Faker, and I think I should import it from Faker. Now, if in case someone hasn't heard about library called Faker, it's the library which will feel very useful in real life if you work with data. Now, Faker.js, it was originally in JavaScript, but okay, I should show you in the Python only. Give me a sec. Faker, bye. This is the library I'm talking about. This will help you to generate random dummy data. It's very easy. If you just write, for example, fake.address, it will give you one fake address. You write fake.name, it will give you one fake name. You write fake.text, it will give you one fake text. So you can simply, I hope you would have guessed the workflow. I can use this function and I can iterate over all my IDs, the user IDs, and then I'll get different name for different row, right? So see here, this, they are just reiterating over the range and then they're printing the names and they got 10 different names, right? So that's how you play with this library. Again, very useful library. I told you, it's not that every time you will get your data pre-cooked by the Kaggle. Sometimes you will need to create your data. And this is how you create your data by the help of modern libraries called Faker and the random. Python interpret how integrate with VS framework so that we can run Python code. Okay. So you don't need to do anything, Daniel. Even if you install just, I would say, Python, simply install VS Code, because VS Code doesn't has any Python prebuilt into it. It will use your machine's Python only. Okay. So VS Code is just a place, I would say, wrapper to run Python code, which is already installed. Python will be already installed in your machine. Okay. If you are not comfortable with this, maybe try some Google Colab only. So if you don't want to play with this IDEs and Python code, or maybe install Python. So Google Colab is a free place where you can run your Python script in the form of notebooks. Okay, so maybe feel free to use these free libraries which exist as of now. Okay, so again, this library we are going to use, and how do we use it? Again, you don't need to remember anything to use any library. So even if you see here, they're already telling me, right? I'll need to import Faker, and then I'll just import, maybe declare this variable called fake, and then I can write fake.name, fake.address, those kind of things. Okay, so let me write this. and then I can import everything, fake.name and those kind of things. Okay, but how many times do I need to create my data? If I see my data here, I need my data this many times, right? For these many rows, I will need to generate something. Maybe I will write something and a here. Copy. I need to iterate through this list. So maybe I will first paste it here. Give me a sec. I should have done it in Excel, but no worries. I'll do it here only. There is one easy way as well, because you already know that you have these many rows you want data for, and you would already know you can simply use the range function as well, but I'll try to keep things simple. Okay. So maybe how much are they? It's not too much. I'll simply declare everything in a list. 11, right? So these are the rows for which, or these are data point for which I need to generate data. Maybe I will write it as rows. Now I can simply iterate through my list and then generate my data, right? So what kind of data do I need? I need images. Now, how will I get images how will I get random images? Anyone has any idea how I can get random images for the persons or people maybe? If you don't know about it, so there is a API called random user. Now, again, this is an API which is pre-built by some other people. You don't need to worry about it. How do we use this API is simply hit. So I just entered this URL in my address bar and I got one person, some random person. If I write 7 here, I will get some other random person. Write 8 here, I will get some other random person. If I write woman instead of men, I'll get the woman's image. Maybe change it to 9, a different image, right? So these kind of APIs already exist for us. You can simply copy this, for example. I will go here and I'll just give me a second. I will just use this library, and maybe this could be variable for me. So maybe I can declare one gender variable, which could be, let's say, no, not male and female. It could be men and women, right? Men and woman. Let me quickly check if men is a real entry. So is it a main or a man? Okay, it's a man only, right? So I'll keep this. And then for this IDs as well. So I'll keep this as ID. I can have a number of IDs. So I'll just iterate through this gender, iterate through this ID, and then I'll keep on getting different images for me, right? So maybe okay, let me do one thing. I'll randomize this thing. So random dot choice. I'll do the same thing for the IDs as well. Maybe I'll write image ID. Could be random dot rand int, I think. Rand int, and I can get values from, let's say, 1 to 100. Okay, so I'll get random choice of man and woman. That will give me a different image, and for this ID, I'll get a random choice between 1 to 100. Okay, so maybe I'll wrap it inside some function. So rep generate photo, and this could be my one function. I'll enter it here, and this could be my return statement for the function, and the return, and I'll make it as a string. This will be my string, and here I will need to enter gender. This could be a variable, so I'll write it as here, and this could be as, give me a sec. What did I do? Okay, here it should be gender, and here it should be image ID. Okay, so this will give me gender, this will give me image, and it will give me a function. Okay, I'll take a pause here. If anyone has any problem or any issues to understand how this function works, let me know. I'll try to dumb it down. Okay, I'll try to make sure that you guys understand it. So anyone in the chat, meanwhile I'll bring the chat as well. Anyone think that you need some more information on this like function, like how will we use this function? No one, right? So just wondering, are the fake data and picture will be useful for us in data analysis purposes? So in real life, no, but here you are creating projects for your resumes, right? So here you will need the, how will you get images? Maybe you want to create a different project where you need, let's say, some category images or some product information, product images. In real life, so they have a separate team of 50 people who will create the data table for you, right? But how will you do it in real life? In how will you do it for the project purposes? So that's, it will be useful here, not in the real life. Again, even in real life, when you develop softwares or some scripts, you have to first create a POC, proof of concept, then you have to use this kind of library. So we do have used the same kind of libraries in the past as well, just to tell that if you want to show your manager that, okay, you can do something if you have this amount of data, so that you show them the POC. If they like it, if they like it, they will approve the tables and you will get the final tables in it. Okay, so yes, it has its own application in the future in the real world. Okay, so I hope everyone understand how this function will work. What else do I need? I need images and I need some phone numbers, right? Because if you see my data requirement, I will get phones. Images I have already got. I'll iterate to the list. I'll need phone and I'll need some names as well. Okay. Names we can get from Faker very easily. Okay, so for phone, maybe I'll write some other function, maybe generate phone. Can anyone tell me in the chat, how should I generate phone? Let's say I want to generate Indian phone numbers. What should I write in the return statement? Again, one hint is I have to use random library. Can you tell me how will you do it? Okay, one hint could be random dot rand int, and let's say 1 to 100. It should be 10 digit, right? Yes, it should be 10 digit. So maybe start from wait, why is it stuck? And maybe end it at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I can get something, I can generate some random digits from this number, and because this will be a string, I will write it as f string. This will go like this. This f should be small. And I told you I want to generate Indian numbers, so maybe write +91 in the past, not 01, +91. Maybe you don't need space. Okay. So how this line will work is, again, it's a string. It will start a string with +91, and then it will give you some 8-digit number between 5005, this 8-digit number to this big 9-digit number. Okay. I hope this is clear as well. Now, if I have to tell you to generate names, you can use faker dot name. But should I do this? Okay. Okay, I'll tell you more easy way. Okay, don't generate these names here. Now let's say you will be generating your data somewhere in some dictionary, some list, for example. Just write that. And because you need your data for these many rows, you will need to iterate these rows. How will you iterate? With the help of for function, right? For iterator, not a function. Just write for I in rows. Now for each row, I want name, I want phone, I want image. How will I do it? Let's say you want a name. Name could be fake dot name. This is coming from faker library. You want phone. Phone would be coming directly from this function. You want image. Image would be coming directly from this function. This is a function. It should be a call to the function. And then again, you just want to append all this information to the empty list. This is dot append, and you will append everything. Maybe you will append the rows because I is a row. So this will become your first column. Then you should have name, for example. So we will write name here. Then the second other column would be phone, for example. The other column could be image. Okay. So this will give you, and then you can convert this list to a data frame, which could be pd dot data frame. I'll pass it a list, and what columns do I need is equal to, I'll rename my columns. For example, first is owner ID. Second column should be called as owner name. Third column should be called as owner phone, owner image. Okay, so I will get this data frame. Here, basically, I'm just renaming all these columns which exist in this data. So I name phone and image. And now I can simply do df.toCSV because I will need this entire thing in a CSV. I will name it abc.csv maybe. And I'll make sure that index is false. Okay. This small script, again, I made it like lengthy because again, I want to show you. Some of you are not well versed in Python, but if wanted, we can convert or finish the entire script in, I would say, 5 to 6 lines also. Okay, I will try to run this script. Open the terminal. Okay, where is this file saved? It's in downloads, right? So let me go here. I'll go back. I'll go to downloads, and I will run my file. If everything is right, it should give me a CSV, airbnb.py. Okay, give me a sec. NA is not defined. Let me see here. Okay, I think I'm generating it as an integer. So maybe for the sake of generating data, I'll write it as 1000 because I'll explain you why it happened, because this is not a string. So even if I wrap it here, it should be fine. Now, if I try to run my script again, okay, give me a sec. Start, give me a sec. Empty range for range, start, stop, and width. Empty range for range, start, stop, and width. Okay, give me a second. I think I didn't give it a starting point. It should be present here. And this is my starting and this is my ending. And let me copy this. Okay, I think I entered a smaller number. That's why it's happening. But let me try to run this again. Okay, spelling, there's a typo. So it should be choice instead of choice. So if I write it choice, run it again. Give me a sec. I haven't imported pandas as PD. So again, these kind of errors you will keep on incorporating in real life as well. I'll try to simulate as much as possible how we work in real life. Okay. And perfect. Script ran and our CSV should have been generated. Now, if I want to check it, I will go to downloads, and it should be some abc.csv. Here it is. Open and see the data. It has owner IDs. Again, NA I gave because I wanted to handle nulls. I'll remove this. See the owner names. Every owner is present, and these are dummy names generated. We have phone numbers and we have image IDs. Again, all these image IDs ideally would be working because we took it from API. And if I show you a demo, give me a sec. Some of the API images are missing. I'll check something else here. Give me a sec. Is it that they have very less images? Give me a second. Give me a second. Did I destroy the URL? Let me check it again. In the script, I have passed this URL, and ideally it should have been randomuser.me/API. Okay, I did a typo. Here it should have been portraits and we misplaced it as gender. So write it like this. Now, if I run my script again, okay, now if I go back, close this, don't save, open this again, open recent, more, open on my Mac, Airbnb abc.csv. And now if I try to check if the images which are present here are real images, I will check any one image and it exists, right? So again, very small script, very small Python script, but the purpose is to let you guys know that we can do this. It's not that you will require some Kaggle or something for the projects. And when you're explaining this project, you can write this as a pointer that you generated your own data. Okay, so just one FYI for the projects. So you have the entire data set. So maybe I will save it as owner information. So I will save this as maybe owner or maybe dim owner. Dim owner. I will save it in desktop maybe. Now, if I go back to my Airbnb data, this again, I was explaining you, we already have this. So I will delete this. Delete. In fact, I will delete the sheet as well. Delete this, and I can delete this as well. Okay. Now, what else we were thinking we will create the dataset for? For example, we wanted mapping of these room types. Okay. For example, the room types which are written here are A, B, C, D, E, something else, right? We don't know what this means. So let's go somewhere here, paste it, delete duplicates. And we have, I would say, how many rows are there? We have 9 rows, right? So let's say you wanted the information here, or maybe room. Yeah, information would be a good word. So here again, there will be some dimension table existing in the backend. What I will do is I have already created one mapping table. These things are called mapping table, by the way. So what I will do is I will copy this. So again, I'm going to give you all these things in your notes, but I'll quickly do one thing. So these are the mapping, let's say, which we got from client, that A means entire place, D means private room, E means shared room. So we have to populate these things here. I'll quickly transform this data. So maybe I will do this. It has a qualifier like this. Maybe I'll press next, finish. Now I again migrated one column to different columns. I can now simply copy this and paste it here. Okay. By the way, I'm doing this thing deliberately. Like I want these things to happen in front of you, that you will get this data uncleaned. You won't get all the time data in one column only. You might get data like this, and you will need to, maybe I'll go here. You might get data like this. Again, I copied it. अरे यार, copy नहीं हुआ क्या? Copy. Give me a second. Paste it here. Huh. So you might get data like this, like it's already existing in one value, one column or one cell. You will need to separate that into multiple cells. These are part of data processing or pre-processing. Okay. You should be aware of these kind of steps as well. So let's say this is your dim table for room types. I will make it like this. I will save it as dim room, and I will save it as CSV because we'll be moving it to Snowflake. I'll save it as this. And now if I go back to my Airbnb data, what else could be there? So we have country information. And if I go here, let's say we wanted, for example, some more information from country. Let's say the user or the client wanted that, Sahil, can you show me for each country what was the budget assigned maybe for Airbnb? Is that okay? I can assign this much budget that you can do on marketing or anything of that kind. So in the main table, this information doesn't exist. In real life, you will need to find some dim table which already exists. But here, let's say we are creating that table. Okay. I will do the same thing here. And we have some 49 columns, right? Now let's say customer wanted that for each country, they should have budget column. So how will I get budget here? Again, should have some function in here. Yes. I will copy this and I will show you this formula. So again, it's not that you will always require to create random data in Python only. You can do that in Excel. And that's the point I am showing you this formula. If you write rand between and you can give any numbers, for example, the budget is in millions, right? So I can write some big number here and some big number here. Give me a second. I think I wrote a smaller number here. Yes, and see here, it automatically assigns a random number. Drag it, and for each country, you will get the budget. So it's not that you will always require Python for generating random number, but the con of Excel is you won't be able to generate images from this rand function. You won't be able to generate some dummy names from this rand function. Okay, so if it's only about, I would say, generating numbers, use this rand between formula directly in Excel. But if you want some dummy data which is slightly complex, switch to Python. Okay, so maybe I will write it as dim, not dim. It's a fact. So fact budget, or maybe dim budget will be fine because it's just one column. Okay, save it in CSV. Okay, I'll take a pause here because I covered, I would say, a lot of things. So we initially had just one data set. I'll go there. We had just one data set. It had some columns, but we realized that, okay, some columns we have to join with the other tables. And the scenario which I created was dimension table. Those dimension table doesn't exist already. So we have to create them. So we created 2-3 tables. One we did it from Python. And this is how it looks like. Other table we created by just using random action Excel function. And we had the third table, which was this room information table. And this I just copied and told you how do you convert it to text to column, right? I'll take a pause. If anyone has any question till here, I'll take it up. Otherwise, I'll start moving to the dashboarding part here. Okay, so this was like one first part. I'll again move this to Snowflake. But this was first part, which again takes a lot of time when we work in real life as well. You will never get one column, one table, cleaned table that it has everything. You will get your data separated like in all the places. You will need to do all the joins and everything. Okay, this is a real life example. Data will be present in all the different files. You will need to see your data and then understand which information is missing and how to get that information. Okay, so a little bit chat. What is return f? Okay, got it. Yes, Sakshi pointed that there was some choice ka spelling mistake, not starting from 0. Huh. So Sakshi, for that function, right? I'll go back. This function, rand function का दिक्कत ये है कि it always, again, not दिक्कत, but it's like the starting number should be less than the ending number. Okay, so it starts from here and ends still here. So you don't even need to give it that start from here. It can accept 3 input as well. One could be the steps, but the ending number should always be greater. That's the mistake I was doing here and in the Excel as well. For the people who are asking what is f representing here, so in Python, how things work is, so there is a thing called f strings. Okay, and this is very useful concept here. Slightly advanced concept, I would say, not a lot of people know about it. So let's say I wanted to write one string here. Okay, so let's say this was man and this was URL, right? A random string. But now let's say I wanted to insert some variables into this string. How will you do that? You do that by just writing f in front of it. Okay, so that is called f string. F string lets you add variables into your strings. So if I just write f, and now I can insert any variable. Let's say I had a variable called, let's say, gender is equal to male. Okay, now what I can do is with the help of f string, I can write my gender here. अरे यार क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं यहाँ पे. Okay, let's say you had some other variable called id, which was, let's say, 90. With the help of f string, you can insert this id here. Okay, that's the use of f string. They let you insert variables into them. Okay, so I will comment this. I'll give you the script also, by the way, if you guys need that. Can we load data using Python API? Yes, Chaitanya. We can do that, but I wanted to avoid that because for that I'll need to show you the credentials of my Snowflake that I didn't want to show because I'm using corporate Snowflake, but I will give you that script if you want. Okay. Maybe I'll hide that section. I won't be okay. Maybe what I'll do is I'll show you the entire script. I won't run it because to run it, I'll need to show you the credentials that I don't want to do. So maybe tomorrow I can show you that as well. It's very simple. I'll do that. Okay. In real life, you also need 2 to 3 hours to complete. No, you don't. Then it's never the case. Real life projects goes again. It depends on the uh, scale of project, but how, because again I can tell you because I'm managing my team as well. So generally, how you get the requirement is I'm telling you the least amount of time. Okay, so creating one page of one dashboard requires 2 days. That's how we do scoping when we have get a project, right? So when the company gives us a project, we have to tell to our internal company that how much time I will require, how much internal developers I will require, how I rate the complexity. Again, it depends on complexity. How many, let's say I get a dashboard to create. I'll need to know how many calculated fields I need, how many data sources I need, how many joins do I need, how many visuals do I need. Based on this, I'll decide the complexity of the dashboard. And then by to like maybe to create easy page, one page dashboard, I'll say that I need 2 pages, 2 days. To create some calculated dashboard page, I'll say, okay, I need 3 or more, 4 days, for example. That's how we decide the timing. It's never 2 hours or 3 hours of job. Okay. At least 2 days for one page is that's what like I decide when I have to assign work to my team, but it depends on the companies. If you work for Infosys, maybe some MNC, big MNC, they ask a lot of time to do anything. If you work for startup, they'll ask you to complete everything in a day or two. Okay. So it depends on the scale and the client. Okay, so yeah, this was how do you generate data. Now I will go back to Snowflake. And this concept you can use to, again, create any number of data sets and the projects, okay? Because whenever I talk to someone, they say, "Bhai, how do I get the data?" You don't actually need to go somewhere to find the data. You can generate on your own as well, okay? Okay, enough said. I'll go to my Snowflake account. If your question was, can we load data directly from maybe Python into, I would say Tableau? So no, we can't. We need some intermediate stage. Maybe you can import data, export data from Python to CSV and then load it. Okay, so there is nothing called Python API, by the way. Okay, so I'll start loading the data. Maybe I will go to my, not here, maybe I'll go to my database called Tableau projects, go to schema called prod schema. In here, I'll start creating my tables. Or maybe, give me a second. Uh, okay, okay, we'll create it in this table only, no worries. Import it from file, do it for a second. Airbnb.csv, name it as master Airbnb. This will be having the master data. Go next. And you will need to remove some spaces from here. I'll do that. Oh, we have it for everything. Okay. And this kind of thing, like it's repetitive, right? So this we avoid with the help of that script. Maybe I'll show you tomorrow or maybe in the next project, but you don't need to press backspace all the time to remove spaces. Python, there is a function called replace. You just write replace and write the spaces and write the underscores afterwards. Okay. We have it here as well. And something is not right here. Okay, we have something here. Previous cancelled, previous bookings. Lead time, repeat customer is cancelled. Day in waiting list, booking charges, amount paid, reserved room type, reservation status, date, reservation status, maybe remove these, remove space, distribution channel, deposit type, customer, give me a sec, type, customer name. Okay, assign room type. This should be like here, number and number. Okay, so let me confirm if the things are right. So number, date, number, this number is number, week is number, this is varchar, owner is a number, room type, company is empty. Okay, so one more data cleaning step. You don't have anything in a company, you can remove that as well. Okay, countries, varchar, country names, customer type, this is varchar, looks good. Meal is varchar, looks good. This should be date. Is there any problem in date? Let's see, we'll find if there is any problem, it will raise an issue. But let's see. Reserve room type. This is a number. Children's a number, and it looks good. I will load. Around this is this column 70. Okay. Some date is wrong. Maybe I'll. Okay, ठीक है. Oh damn. Uh, give me a sec. Let me remove spaces from here only. Arrival date, year. So I will do the same thing here. Just give me a sec. It will take some time because the date column is not right. So make it like this. This. Also, I'll tell you one more trick. Like if you ever encounter this type of issues, how you can maybe avoid this issue. So basically, there is a setting in Snowflake. If you select that, whenever you're loading your data and there is some issue in some error, it will avoid that row only. Some issue in some row, it will avoid that specific row only and load everything else. We hadn't clicked that. That's why we had to do it again. But it's a good caveat that whenever you're doing it, make sure that column is that checkbox is checked. Okay. Uh, let me see. Okay, ठीक है. We'll handle it in Tableau only. No worries. Change it here. Do we have anything else? Maybe trim it. Days, weekend nights, days, weeknights, required car parking spaces, and see lead time. This should be like this. Is cancelled should be like this. Give me a second. In WL, I would write waiting list, booking charges, and everything looks fine. Okay, I will save it. Save as CSV. Yes. Save and replace. Now I'll go back so that even if we feel any error in the future, we should not get a issue in Snowflake. I will load the CSV from here. Load it as must Airbnb. Move it slightly down. Make it next. Okay, if you see here, there's a see this column. So what should happen if an error encountered while loading a row? By default, it's written that do not load any data. But when you are working on your data set, just select only load valid data from the file. Okay, now if I try to maybe go to my reservation date and make it date, I will try to, okay, one row is missing here. I'll try to load this again. And it has loaded the data. Wherever there was mistake, wherever there was like Snowflake was thinking I can't move it, it won't load it. Otherwise, all the rows will be moved. Okay. Now the table, one of the table is loaded. You will need to do the same thing for the other tables. Go to here, go to file, browse the file, check your dim budget, write it Airbnb budget. Next, this should be name and load. We have two. I will load other tables as well. Create a table from file, browse. I will load owners. So we have 4 tables in this project. So maybe Airbnb owner, click on next, name it ID, name, phone, and varchar. Okay, load this. Also, someone was saying in the past, how do we save images or show in Tableau, right? So this owner may we have the images. I did it on purpose because I want to show you that approach. Okay, now I will load the final file, which is room. I will load here and say it's a Airbnb, Airbnb room. This is not right because it's saying that column names are C1, C2, C3, but we can see here column name are coming in the first row. So maybe we'll need to do some settings. So it's not able to detect headers. Maybe I will say first line contain headers. Something is not right in here. I'll check the file, which is room type. Open that file from here, room. And what's wrong here? Let me check. Looks fine only. I'll go back. 2 columns, assign room type and room information, right? Go back and assign room type and room information. And if I'm saying no, music, empty string is not allowed in header. Okay, I know why it's happening. Because some other column it is detecting that we have that as a values. So ideally, if I place it in this file, save it as maybe dim room 2.csv, go here, save it as CSV, go back, replace the file, right? Okay, the name is already there, press next. And now it's fine, right? So whenever you can, okay, first I will fix it and then I'll explain you what happened earlier. So whenever you will try to convert a Excel to a CSV, in Excel, if there was any empty column, it will detect that column as an empty column in CSV and then it will give you that error. Okay. Perfect. We have 3 tables loaded into Snowflake. I will go to Tableau and I'll start connecting them. Sign in. And I will select my database. I will select my schema, which is broad schema, and I should have everything which I need. Maybe I will write Airbnb so that I get only these tables. I need my master table. I will drag it. I need my room table. I will drag it. And how are these tables? Like, what is the relation between them? Tableau will automatically detect it, but only the joint common columns will get joined. So in this table, we have room type. In this table also, we have room type. So it automatically did a join. I will drag owner table as well. and there is no, by default, I would say, the join detected. So maybe I want to tell Tableau that see the owner column in here. It should be present in here, and here also there should be owner ID. Right? So whenever there is no automatic detection, you will need to set the join in the bottom. Set the other table for budget. Here it has automatically detected that country name is present in this table, country name is present in this table. So it will automatically say, okay, I'll join it. This becomes your star schema. It is also called a model for you. Okay. Simply convert it to extract, go to a new sheet. It will save your extract somewhere locally. And you have everything here. Okay. All the tables are already here. That specific column, I want to talk about that specific column, which is image column, the owner image. If I show you by default, this is how the owner image column looks like. Give me a sec. I copied the wrong one. My bad. This is the owner image. It is coming as URLs, right? But I want Tableau to go into this URLs and render the images for me. All you need to do is simply click on here, make the image role as URL. Make the, okay, why is it stuck? Okay, maybe go here. Now drag it in the rows. Yes. So again, for some, our API is not able to detect any images. That's perfectly fine. But if you see here, maybe width, maybe increase the size like this, like this. And if you see here, all the images are present, right? So getting images in Tableau is not very easy. All you need is some column in the table which is containing URL of the images, and then just load it in your Tableau file. Okay, so I hope this point is clear. I mean, this column, again, take care. Database is not replying, is the image is wrong, then we can't do anything. So we'll maybe skip it when we are doing an analysis, but all the other images are loaded. Okay, so I will collapse this. And now I will come to the drawing board. And the first part, which is preparing your data, is done. Okay, even in real life, you will require a lot of time in this data preparation. Okay, it's not that, again, I won't repeat that. It's not that you will get clean data. You will need to do the pre-processing. Then you will come to the, maybe see the use cases and do the analysis. Then come the second part, which is deciding the problem statements, the business problem statements. Okay. So again, it's a bookings data or hospitality data. So the biggest concern for, let's say you have any booking platform, you would want to see, maybe I'll change the color, total bookings which happened on your platform, maybe total cancellations which happened on your platform, right? क्या spelling with the CNCELLATAN, right? You would want to see maybe the revenue which you are generating. You would want to see maybe average duration of stay. You can see how many ratings on an average your rooms and hospitality domain is getting. So maybe average ratings, and we can create a number of more KPIs depending on whatever the column which exists in the our dashboard of data. Okay, so let's say company wants to track these KPIs. The following KPIs need to be tracked, and other problem statement which they are finding answer for is detailed month and day wise booking analysis. Okay, what do you mean by detailed month and day wise analysis? So let's say in each month there could be 30 to 35, 30 to 31 days. Which days were a boost for me when there were a lot of bookings, which days were like a not good for me, right? So I will need at least one chart where as a user, or where as a, let's say this chart you are building for your maybe some managers or the Airbnb managers, they should be able to track that out, like which days are doing good for me, which days are doing bad for me, and you need it month wise. This is again very good use case because it's not a simple problem to answer. Because see here, you have to show one variable which is month, you have to show other variable which is day, you have to show other variable which is booking. Whenever you work in real life and you have three variables, it's tough to represent that information. If it was only one variable, two variables, let's say they wanted only month and booking, okay, then it was simple. On x-axis you can have, let's say, month, and on y-axis you can have, let's say, array yaar, let me undo this. Let's say here we can have month, on the y-axis I can have bookings, right? So whenever you get analysis of only one, two variables, the analysis becomes very easy. But when it's about three variables, there are not a lot of charts which you can use. Okay. So if it was only monthly booking analysis or daily booking analysis, things would have been easier for me. But I want three information here, three variables I need. Now, let's say I talk to you that can you represent this information on the screen? Can you tell me what could be a good chart to represent this information? Again, for the wireframe, the storytelling layout will remain almost the same. We'll have something on top for the header. We'll have something for the filter section. Those things remain constant. You can have filter section on top, on left or right, doesn't matter, and should not be worried about as well because they are easy. There could be, let's say you have some navigation buttons, you can have that section in here. Ideally, navigation should be before filters. So let's say this was it. And then you will start placing your KPIs. So you can have some KPIs like this. Give me a sec. And then you will start having some detail, not detailed right now. You will have some kind of summary analysis, and then you can have detailed analysis in the bottom, right? I will drag it to the bottom. And then you will have some detailed analysis here. Okay, maybe you will have two charts. Let's say I write it like this. Okay, so without even seeing your data, you can create a basic template layout. This is how my charts and the dashboard will look like. Again, play with the headers, play with the navigation, play with the filter. You can place it somewhere, but flow will remain same. First KPIs, then summary level analysis, then detailed analysis. Okay. Now, again, this we'll forget about it right now. How do you think we should represent this information? The month and day wise booking analysis. How will I represent this on the screen? Any guesses in the chat? We have three variables. Okay, let's dual axis. Okay, let's play with Tableau. Okay, we have month. We have, let's say, days. Wait, okay, this is not a correct days. We should have some, yeah, this is the days, right? Now, again, I can't have this chart because it's taking sum of days and everything, right? Maybe if I convert this to discrete. Also, why I'm converting this to discrete? Because I don't want to take sum of days right now. I want them to be distributed in different axes for now, for example. I'll convert it to discrete. Now, if I drag it, do you think it will be summed up? एक minute यार, dimension बनाने दो. हाँ. Let me collapse this. So let's say this is the current layout for you. Now you want to represent bookings. You have two variables already and you want to represent bookings, right? So if you see bookings, let's say you don't have any variable for number of bookings. If I'm not wrong, let me check. We have no variable for bookings, right? Okay. Booking charges. Okay, let's talk about amount variable because we haven't created the bookings variable. So we'll come to that when we have when we will start creating the actual dashboard. But right now, I just want to think of some chart for representing this information. Okay. Let's say we talk about for each month, for each day, they want to see how much amount they got. So one information could be just represent everything in one table. Okay. I have already told you never shy away from representing information in table. But the only problem here is, again, it's too much of an information. They will need to scroll it. Other information could be, maybe if I try to transpose it, still it's too much of information, right? What else can I do? Maybe instead of this, I'll maybe first though I'll decrease the size of these. Okay. Now if I try to add amount paid, they won't fit in here, right? So it won't be a good chart. If I drag it on colors, and if I increase the size, not maybe entire view, uh, 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 right. So if I try to fit the height and maybe, no, not fit the height, go back, maybe change it to circles. This could be a good representation, and or the earlier one, heat map is good only, right? Okay. So say this chart, maybe I'll drag it on the dashboard. This chart. Okay. I'll close this. This is the chart currently. Say this chart. Do you think maybe I'll increase its size? Yeah. Do you think this chart is representing everything which we need to show to the user? User wanted to see which months, which monthly detailed daily analysis of bookings, or maybe here I am showing the amount paid, right? Do you think this chart will be more than enough for them? Because here they can simply, even if they don't see everything, they can simply see that, okay, this is a darker one, means September May, on 25th September, maximum amount of money came to me. And then it was, I would say, on date 26, then on date 27. They can simply see without even seeing anything. They can simply see for July, it was pretty flat month for them. They didn't get anything till 28th of July. They got money on 29th. Same thing for December. They are not getting sales or money frequently. December is a peak season month, right? But still they are having some missing parts here, right? So whenever you will get three variables, you are restricted to very few visuals. One is to represent everything as a text or as a cross tab. If I show you how that will look like, show it like this. But यहाँ पे Tableau will always show these kind of hashes when it doesn't get enough real estate to show. To show the text, you will need to increase the size. And if you increase the size, your information won't be present in the single screen. They will need to scroll. And scroll is the worst enemy of your dashboard. So again, if the y-axis would have been smaller, if the column would have been smaller, this text would have worked. But here, I can't represent the same information. So instead of text, I'll show the information in colors. Okay. Whenever they hover, they will get the entire information. Okay. So this is how you debug or maybe see what kind of chart we can use. It's never some rule book or playbook you will get. It comes with experience, but again, just play with the dashboard to see what kind of chart would work. Here, for example, the user says that, okay, maybe on these months, I want some other bar charts as well, because ये तो daily हो गया, right? This is daily analysis. If they wanted monthly analysis as a bar chart, what will you do is maybe create a new search month, add here, add amount paid, add it here. And what you can do is simply drag this new sheet, write it here. Maybe, oh, I should have dropped it in a container. Give me a second. I'll take a container, drag it inside this, take this, drag it, wait, in the array. Why is it stuck? Okay. Yeah. Create it like this. move it here, maybe increase the width, make it 1300 maybe, collapse this, maybe increase it like this. And now if I hide the header, give me a second. I should think of something else. If I hide this from here, it will move on top, right? Let me see. So I just want to align these two. Okay, let me do one more hack. If I drag one vertical container inside this, oops, like here, and I can drag one blank inside this vertical container, and I can drag this sheet into this vertical. Give me a second. Maybe I will increase the width first. Now I will drag it inside this. Now I can play with the height. I'll drag it here. Yes, perfect. Now, if you see, I'll maybe name it monthly analysis. Okay. अरे यार एक minute. Increase the width. Increase the width. Increase the width. Okay. See this chart now. Maybe I'll do one more hack here. Go here. Take the amount paid and drop it on the colors. Okay. So this chart, if you show, if I was only showing him this chart, right, the left side, it was telling me the detailed, it was easy to find, okay, which day is doing the maximum sales. Like I can see for November, this one is darker, so it was maximum sales. For October, this date has the maximum color, this date has the maximum color. But what about the aggregated entire month? That was, I was not able to get information from here, right? For that, I simply created one more bar chart. It was for the months. I hide the label header, and now I can see that, okay, daily wise I can see from here, and monthly I can see this row, which is September, did the maximum sale for me, right? So it's never about, whenever you are stuck with three variables, you will need to find some hacky ways to represent information. And if you think the information is not efficiently shown in one visual, add a new visual on top of it, right? Again, these are not same visual, these are some hacks which I have done. So what I did is I have created two charts, and I tried to place them on the same container. But if you'll do it, you will find that they will not align in the same line. So for that, you have some hacks like add some blank, and then you can adjust or play with the height of that blank, right? So again, some hacks, but you will need to find these hacks whenever you're dealing with three variable. And I want you to include it because these kind of scenarios also come in real life. So now if the question of user was, the use case was, they wanted to see monthly and daily analysis of the bookings. This kind of chart, if I present to them on, let's say, homepage, it will be very easy for them to see the entire big picture of their hotel, right? And what more I can do is I can have some, I would say, drop down or parameter that if you want to see cancellations, change the measure to cancellation. If you want to see total amount or revenue, change it to revenue, right? So that obviously we'll do tomorrow, but this one master chart is more than enough for them to get a detailed analysis of the entire business. Okay. I'll take a pause here. If anyone has any, can we add in color? Okay. In color, I think you were representing from here, right? That you can add it in color, but yeah, that's a good point. Like that's what I was supposed to do as well, that in colors can represent information. So these kind of concepts comes again, if you want to go very detailed into it, these comes into color theory. So they have different theories for the visualization as well. If anyone is interested, I can give you some articles to read about it, but you can represent information with the help of colors, size, those kind of things. One more thing, I told you size, so I can show you. One more hack which we can do is represent the same information by size also. Now see, I'm using lesser space, but I'm kind of representing the same info. Again, it's tough to get the smaller points and hover on them, but I can simply see who are the outliers. Means September May, I can see July May there was no sales, no point. September May there was some good months or good days for me, right? So play with the color, play with the size, because they are meant to be like working in this way only. Maybe if I go here, make it slightly bigger. Yeah, this could have been other option for us, right? So these kind of charts you won't find very easily on, I would say, YouTube or somewhere which have just basic level of knowledge, because these are used in real life, but you come to know about them when you get some scenario to create them, right? Otherwise, if I'm creating some demi project for my own, I won't even get to know when I would create these kind of charts. Okay, so three variables may, again, the hack or point to be noted is whenever you have to represent information three variables, one variable will go in rows, one variable will go in column, that everyone know. But where will the third variable go? Third variable will go either in color or in size. It can go in label, but sometimes space won't allow you, so use these marks card to represent the third information. I hope you understand why this information will be useful. Tomorrow we'll start playing with the dashboard, start creating the calculation and the other charts for this, but this will be the master visual for this dashboard because it gives you the daily analysis. And whenever you are working with hospitality kind of domain, they want these kind of charts where they can simply come and see which day was first, which day was best. By tomorrow, we'll try to finish this entire project. We'll try to create the more use cases. Again, today we covered this use case because this use case was important. We use this use case in a lot of time, and whenever we have to represent the third variable, we have to come up with these hacks of using either the size or the chart or the color. Okay, what yesterday we saw the entire data processing of the same, and we saw like how do we deal with three variables, right? It's not only restricted to this dashboard. You can come up with the requirement in any of the dashboard that you had to use three variables in your project. Please guide me how to VS Code is integrated with multiple tools so that we can execute the code in Python or Spark and VS. Okay. So before beginning, let me cover that. If I go to VS Code, by the way, if in case you guys code, there is a better alternative to VS Code. It's called Cursor. I'm not sure how many of you know about it, but it's built on top of VS Code only. VS Code is, I would say, free, and this VS Code is open source, so anyone can build tools on top of it. This is like a VS Code plus AI. Okay, so it's, if you are going to install any IDE, I would suggest use Cursor. It's better. I can tell you why it's better. So if it's let's say you have to write some code, right? So maybe I'll do one thing. Give me a second. Have I integrated my keys? Give me a sec. I'll tell you some hacks here. Give me a sec. Go here. I'll close this. I'll just make sure that I have the keys. I can give you a very quick demo. Okay. Where do I check it from? Upgrade to Pro. I should have. Okay, I don't have the keys, right? For this demo, then how should I work? Take it. No worries. I'll work without that. Okay, so let's say this is almost close to a VS Code. I'll create a new file here. Okay, maybe I'll name it something else, test.py. Okay, so I want, okay, test I already have. Let's say demo for class.py. Okay, should be in desktop. Here we go. I have one file and I want to write some code, right? So instead of starting from scratch, it integrates the AI into it. For example, okay, quick demo. Yesterday, you wanted me to tell you how do we push your CSV to Snowflake, right? Let me show you how do we do it with the help of cursor. So write a Python script that will take a CSV as input and push it to Snowflake table. Okay, so it will give me a script. It's a boilerplate code, pre-built, pre-cooked. I can simply click on apply and I have the code ready here. Okay, if you want to accept it, accept. You have the entire code. If I want to show you how this code works, maybe How do I close it? Give me a sec. Okay, works. So if I want to show how this code is working, so we are importing pandas, we are importing Snowflake. Snowflake, maybe we are importing connector because this is the API which we need. Snowflake has a new API as well that's called Snowpark, if I'm not wrong. So you can use that as well. And we need one pandas tools to write the data frame into the Snowflake table. Now, if you have to push anything or if you have to connect to Snowflake API, you need certain parameters. These are the parameters. You need account, you need user, password, warehouse, database, and schema, right? You'll need to enter your details here. So account is nothing but that you get, let's say, abc.snowflakecomputing.com, that ABC is your account. You have to place that here. You need to place your username, password, warehouse, your database, and the schema, right? Then you want to push your CSV file, enter the location of that file, enter what is the name of table you want to give. So how it will work is it will take this CSV file, convert it to a data frame with the help of pd.read_csv. Now you have your entire CSV in a data frame. And now you just need to connect to Snowflake and push the file to Snowflake, right? So just use a connect function and you're passing these parameters which you defined on top. Okay, you have the con object, and the beauty of con object is, if I show you here, you just simply need to use one function, which is write pandas, pass which connection of Snowflake you want to use, pass what is your database data frame name that you want to push, and pass the table name. It will give you some parameters. It will give you multiple variables as an output. So we just want to see if it's a success or not. That it's used for debugging. You don't even need to do it. It will anyway push your table. And once your connection is done, you have pushed the table CSV to table, just close your connection. Okay, so this is how easy it is if you integrate AI into your system. Again, it's not AI masterclass, but since I use it, I wanted to tell you. Again, you can use it by just writing the same command, same line in ChatGPT, write her code, like make ChatGPT write the code, copy it here, but the integration is not smooth. What do I mean by integration is, for example, if I want to make any change to this code, I need to go to ChatGPT again. If I'm using some old technology, I need to go back to ChatGPT, give him some more commands, then copy the code again, then paste it here. But here, for example, if you want to make any change could be, for example, we already know that if I'm taking any CSV as input, and if the column headers have spaces or some special characters or some numbers, we can't push it to Snowflake. It will throw an error because the one requirement of any database is column names cannot have these things. So if you want to include that change into this code, again, just ask a follow-up question. So in the imported CSV, replace the special characters, numbers, spaces by underscores before pushing it to Snowflake. Okay, press enter. It will suggest you some changes. And if I try, okay, let me give it its own sweet time. And I will click on apply. And it has added all the files, all the lines which I needed. So it added one function. I can see if this function looks good or not. So it's writing a def clean column name function. It's accepting a column names and is using regex. So RE, and for the regex, it's importing the regex as on top as well. So it's importing the regex library. And then it's telling me what it's going to do. So it's detecting all the special characters, spaces, numbers, and how it's doing is it's telling me that if there is, let's say, in the entire string of columns, if there is anything apart from A to Z character or A to Z character, just replace it by underscore, and I'm just replacing it. So spaces have been replaced and all the other things can be replaced by underscore. So I think this code looks good. Simply accept this change, click on accept, and your code is integrated, right? So again, you can use ChatGPT. Again, if you're not using ChatGPT or any AI as of now, I would say you're missing a lot. Feel free to include them into your workflows. And if you're including them, use these kind of tools, these kind of IDEs, because they make your life easier. Now, if your question was regarding VS Code, again, everything remains same. You won't get the ChatGPT and everything. But if your question was how do I install thing or integrate something with the, I would say VS Code, you don't need to integrate anything as per se. If you want to work with, I would say Node.js, so simply open terminal. Let me close terminal here. So for example, you are working with Python, you will need to do the pip install Python. I already have the Python, so I won't be doing it, but you will need to do the pip install Python and Okay, I don't think pip install will work, but you'll need to go here and install the Python from exe Python installer. Again, you need Python in your computer slash machine. You don't need Python in your VS Code. VS Code will automatically detect the Python of your computer. Okay, so if you already have the Python inbuilt, you don't need to do anything to integrate it specifically, right? Same thing for Node.js or any JavaScript application as well. If you're building any Node.js slash JavaScript application, just install Node.js. And here you don't need to do anything. If I'm writing a Python code, I will create a new file. I will save it as, let's say, a.py. I'll write my code. Let's say print a plus b, and that's it. I Python is already installed in my machine. How do we run Python files? Simply write Python and then write the file name a.py, right? Again, see here, it's printing a plus b. I can write a plus b plus c. It will print that, right? So again, it could be Node.js application as well. So for example, Node.js have things called, maybe it's a JavaScript file. So a.js. So I'll write console.log. Hi, I am code. Okay, so how do we run JavaScript files? And a minute, let me think. Node a.js. I think Node is not installed. So, okay, I forgot how do we run JavaScript files. So, run JS files terminal command. Give me a second. Okay, it's Node, right? Okay, yeah, we need Node, and Node is currently not installed in my machine. That's why it's not working. But if you're working with any JavaScript file or Node.js file, you need to do the same. So the crux is you don't need to do any setup in VS Code. You need to install things in your local machine, and that's it. Okay. Spark, again, Spark also, if you're using PySpark, I would say for any kind of, if you're a noob or if you're learning something, right, try to use managed services. What do I mean by managed services? By managed services, I mean there exist some cloud applications where you don't need to install something, right? If I want to test maybe Python, right, there exists Python IDEs online. So Python IDE online. I'll try some of these rather than installing something on my own. For example, there's a very good application called Replit. I'm not sure how many of you know about it, but if I show you here, it lets you write code on the top, like just in the browsers, right? So use these kind of applications. Same thing for, let's say you want to write PySpark code. Register for the Databricks, there you will get the online IDE only, right? Register for the Microsoft Fabric, you will get to write with code on IDE browser only. So crux is don't fall into the trap of installing things and making sure that things are installed in your system, because that might cause a hamper to your workflow. And as of now, your only concern should be to learn things, not how to install things and configure those kind of things. Okay, so like again, it was not a code, I would say, the code kind of class, but still I wanted to show you that how you can use these flows to write something. Like, so yesterday you were saying how do we push things to Snowflake. So maybe I'll share this script with you. Try it again. You can change it to anywhere else. For example, your table you want to push is to Redshift. So maybe I'll change it, instead of Snowflake, push the table to Redshift. It will do some changes and it will suggest me. Again, if you're using AI, the only con is you should be aware of at least how this Python works. Otherwise, you won't be able to debug something, right? So that's the only thing which you will need. It's not that you can copy things and it will start working. You need some kind of Python knowledge if you are using AI as well, because not all the time it will give you correct results. Okay, so see here. If I wanted to change the script to Redshift, I can do it very quickly. I'll need PySog, I'll need SQL Alchemy, and it has changed all the requirements, right? I click accept, and now my script is for CSV to Redshift, right? So try to incorporate these kind of things because everyone is using them right now. Okay, these are the hot takes right now in the market. Okay, but again, if you don't know how do we import libraries, because if I run this code, it won't run because I won't be having SQL Alchemy in my system. So this I need to know as a developer that I need this library. So I need to do pip install SQL Alchemy, pip install 𝗙𝗶, right? So these things I will need to know. Otherwise, I won't be able to write or run the code. But if you know the basics, then it's a piece of cake. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing I wanted to tell. let me check at my end once I'll try. Okay, okay, sure. All right, so I'll come to Tableau. I'll start the session where we left yesterday. So maybe I'll quickly connect to my Snowflake, and then we'll start creating the calculations on top of the data model which we were building yesterday. Okay. So I will select projects. I will select schema, and I'll quickly bring my tables, which should be, okay, let me filter everything else so that I see only Airbnb. I need my master table, and to build star schema, I will need to bring budgets. Budgets should be assigned on countries as we decided earlier. I will bring owners. Owners should be from the left table. There should be one owner column. So I will search that up. And on the right, I will search the owner column. So I'll select this. I'll do the same thing for the rooms. I have room information that should be joined on top of room type. Perfect. What else do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have the entire data model right now. One caveat that here we are building data models using relationships. You can do the same thing with the help of joins as well. Okay. But if you want my preference, which one you should be worried about. So always try to use relationship because that is suggested by Tableau. This is the in-house feature developed by Tableau and the extracts and the performance of Tableau is better when you use relationships. Okay, so that's the reason always try to use these relationships instead of using joins. But if you want to use joins, you are free to go. Again, I have already told you how do we do joins. So joins happen on the physical layer. So I'm going back to the first class or second class which we took. How do we go to physical layer? Simply click on any table. So this is your physical layer. You can start bringing the tables in here. Okay, again, don't do it. Wait, why didn't it work? Yeah, it will start working like this, right? So you can create a number of joins like this. Again, you should not do it because it's slightly, I would say, more information to process and more information for us to configure. You will need to dedicatedly decide the join types, and sometimes it will lead to duplicates. These kind of problems will be very easily resolved if you're using relationships. Okay. So I will remove this, but just FYI that you can do that as well. Perfect. I will go to sheet 1. And okay, let me convert it to a extract connection because otherwise things will be slow. Save, replace, go to sheet 1. Okay. Let me close these things up. So let me see what were the KPIs that we wanted to create. So KPIs were first could be, let's say, how many total bookings have been happening in my Airbnb, right? So this is the bookings data, by the way. Here I am in my Tableau pane. If I show you the data very quickly, I will show you the master data. Also, whenever you're in Tableau, you want to see how your input data used to look like. Simply click on these three buttons, these three like tabular button. It will show you the data. You can click on any file and you will get to know how the data is looking like, right? Now, I'll take a pause here. I'll ask you guys, if it is a bookings data, how will I get total number of bookings? So the granularity of this table is one booking for one row. Okay. How will I get total number of bookings? I don't have any booking column, by the way. I'll tell you the columns. We have some stays, we have reviews, we have parking required, cancellations, owner, days taken, children, company, booking charges, arrival dates, amount paid, reservation dates, meals, these dimensions. But we don't have anything for bookings. How will I create a KPI for total bookings? Any guesses? It's a fairly, I would say, simple use case which we deal in real life as well. You have to create something, and if the granularity of that data is at bookings level, they don't give you a separate metric for the bookings. So how will I get total number of bookings here? Quickly, number of rows, right? How do you get number of rows? Correct. So Daniel pointed out very correctly that if each row is representing one booking, if I have to get total number of bookings, I'll just need to count how many number of rows we have, right? But how do you get number of rows? So this is my bookings detail, right? how will I get number of rows for this table? Okay, some of you can say that Sahil, just use this metric. We already Tableau automatically creates one metric which is count of all the rows. If I have to show you, you will get to see this number, right? But I told you, I gave you one tip in the past, never use this count because this is given by default by Tableau. So if in future you want to change some calculation for it, you won't be able to do it, right? So count star, okay, that's a SQL concept that doesn't work here. So I'll tell you how we can work around it. So maybe total bookings is our KPI. So if I just write one here, okay, maybe I press a space. I'll simply write one here, and if I take it in some text, wait, something is not right. Let me go back. I'll write total bookings, go here, maybe write sum of one. It should have worked. Something is not right. Let me try to see if I drag it here. I created this in master table. Okay, give me a second. If I drag this, we have total of incremental discrete 396, right? So if okay, let me do one more hack. Do here, write total bookings API, and I can simply write count of maybe some any dimension I can take. If I take this, let me try to go here, drag it here, right? So I'm getting that number. So the concept is, maybe I'll delete this. That one is not working, and I think it's not working because we have multiple tables and join is happening. But if we only had, like, let's say one table, then you can simply count the number of rows also. But here I'm doing multiple joins with the other tables. Simply counting one, I don't think will work. But here, how we will get the total bookings KPI is, you just need to create a count of any one column, right? For example, if I go to Excel and let's say this was my country, this was my person, and this was my revenue or something like that, right? I can have C1, C2. I can have P1, P2. I can have, let's say, 10, 20. Okay. This is my bookings data. Now I want to find total number of rows, total number of bookings, right? So I can simply count how many countries are there because I have one country in each row, right? So if I simply count the number of countries, I get the total number of bookings. So the idea or the hack here is, take any one dimension which you think is not null anywhere. Okay, so if it's not null, just take the count of that entire column. It will give you the exact booking which you need, because one row will give you one country, right? So here it's giving me let me drop it here, 396, and if I confirm it, these are the actual number of rows, right? So I will rename it. I will say that it is total bookings. And now what else do we need as a KPI? I need total cancellations. Okay, maybe number of bookings which were cancelled. Okay, how will I create that? I will go back. Do I already have any KPI for that? I have is cancelled, and if I check what is present in this column, 1 or 0. Okay, got it. So again, very good example to show. Now I'll ask you guys only about this. So let's say this is a cancelled flag. It's 1. We had some more data, 30, and let's say this was 1 as well. Okay, this was your data. To get total bookings, you simply did the count of this entire column, which gave you 3, right? Total booking. How will you get total cancelled bookings? So here 1 is representing cancelled, okay? 0 is not cancelled. How will you get total number of cancelled bookings? country may be duplicate, so we don't worry about duplicates here because we are just counting them, right? Duplicates would have been an issue if, like, again, we're not doing sum of it. So yeah, Sakshi told it, right? You just need to take sum of this column because you just want to see number of cancelled bookings, and cancelled booking are represented by 1. So simply take sum of entire column. It will give you total number of cancelled bookings. Okay. The reason I'm creating this KPI is this is how we work in real life. No one will tell you a playbook that, okay, use this method to create one KPI, use this method to create another KPI. You will need to see your data, then you will need to understand your data and then create calculations. The similar way we created for total bookings, we know each row is representing total, I would say, one booking. So we'll just take that count of any one column. Again, you can't do the count distinct because, again, see here. If let's say there was one booking of C4 and person was, let's say, P4, it was, no, let's say country was C1 only, and they did some other person booked it for 40 rupees, and let's say he never cancelled it. So you cannot use total count distinct for total booking, because if I do the total count distinct, I will get only 3, right? Because here the total bookings are 4. If I take the count distinct, I will only get 1, 2, and 3 because these two are distinct, right? So I cannot take distinct. Right, distinct I'll take when I'll need to do this maybe country wise analysis or something of that kind. Here I just want number of rows for each value. So then total number of bookings ke liye, I just need to do the sum of, or maybe count of everything, right? And for this, I just need to take the sum of this column, because if I take sum of this column, zeros will be ignored. I will get 2. Let me write it here. And if you see here, total number of booking which were cancelled is 2 only. Okay, so based on your data, you create calculations. So I will create a field which is called total cancelled bookings. And I will write sum of is cancelled. Okay. This is my new KPI. What else do I need? I will need some revenue, average duration of stay. Okay, let's start creating them. If I show you revenue, we should have something else. What is the column name? Let me check. It should be, I'll check it here. Go to measures. We have amount paid, right? So if I show you amount paid, I'll go to some other sheet. I simply need to do the sum of this column, right? But now I will introduce you a new concept, which is implicit measures versus explicit measures. Okay. Has anyone heard about this term in the past? What is implicit and explicit? Just a yes or no. Otherwise, I'll explain you. Okay. No. Okay. So implicit measures mean you are not creating a measure here. So it was just amount paid column. You simply dragged it on the text and it automatically gave you the sum. So you're not creating any measure, right? Explicit measure means you will create a new column, maybe revenue, and then you will write specifically what I want, amount paid. Okay, so maybe if I show you, if I write here, both of them are same things. Okay, here I just took the raw column and dragged it on the screen and gave me the sum. And in the other case, I created one specific explicitly column called revenue, right? Yes. Okay. Yes. Perfect. Sakshi has, I would say, more experience. I have seen her profile as well, so she might be knowing these things. But for other people, these concepts we use in real life. Okay. Never rely on implicit measures, because here though it's giving you sum, but sometimes instead of sum it will give you average, because here you're relying on Tableau, right? To Tableau to give you some, I would say, recommendation. What if you were creating the same chart in some other place and you had not defined the calculation for total revenue? You dragged it on the screen and you ignored, and it was average instead of sum. So these kind of mistakes happen whenever you use implicit measures. The other problem is they are not even memory efficient. If you define them explicitly in the calculation, the numbers are pre-built and pre-populated in the data, so it improves the performance as well. So even though both the results are same, always create explicitly all the measures. Okay. Again, you would have questions, Sahil, why are you writing just sum? Because I can do it here only, but it's a best practice. Okay. So how many columns we have created? Again, if I want to see how many columns did I create, simply write a flag in the search bar. I have these 3 columns. Okay. go back. I want to say total average duration of stay, go back, create a new field, average duration of stay, just write average of, we should have some column. Wait, give me a sec. Okay. Yeah, it's a good point that to calculate average duration of stay, or maybe if I have to get total number of durations, I have two columns. I have week days spent, I have weekends spent. This is one, let's say this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and let's say this is 6 and 6. Okay, maybe close it here. Now I want total days spent. Average ka bhi let's forget. So I want total days spent by this person. What is the, how will I get it? So to get total duration or total stay of this person, I will need to do the sum of these two, right? Because weeks spent plus weekend spent, that's give me the total. And then I will take the average of that. Okay. So here, if I was, again, I just debugged it because we have two columns instead of one. So simply what you can do is, first you can create total number of days stayed, total number of days stayed, simply do the, what was the calculation? Stays, right? So I'll write stays here. So stays of weekend plus stays of weeks, right? It will give me total, and then I can take the average of this column. So this is my new column. I will create a new field, which will be average duration of stay. This will be average of total number of days spent, stayed. Take it like this, take an average, and if I see, I'll get the number, right? So 3 is the average number of days people are spending time. Now here, I'll take a pause. I want to explain you one more concept, which a lot of people do not know about it, but it's a basic math concept, okay? So let's say, okay, let me create the ground first. Let me think about it. How will I explain you? So if I have to tell you, okay, I'll create some different example to explain you that, okay? Because यहाँ पे explain करना it will be difficult. Let's say this was cost, okay? And this is 90, something like this, okay? So I want to calculate, let's say profit percent, okay? Profit percent is profit divided by, like I would say revenue, how much out of revenue, how much was the profit? So maybe I will do profit is revenue minus cost. I'll divide it by revenue. Give me a second. Oops. Okay, so this is my profit percentage, for example. Now, I want to take average of profit percentage. How will I do it? Will I take average of this column and it will give me average of profit percentage? It's a very famous interview question, by the way. Like, how do you take average of a ratio? Any guesses? Maybe 𝗏cie or Danielle? So I want to take average of this column. Can I just take average of this entire column like this? No, right? What's the reason for that? It's percentage, right? Yeah. So you can never take average of ratios or average of average. It's basic maths. I'd say 8th, 9th class. You can never take an average of average. Okay. Ratio ka ratio you can never take. So if you just create a new column called profit percentage, and then you just write average of this entire value. Array, take a minute. Average, I'll do this. So this is very famous, I would say, bug which freshers do. Okay, क्या कर रहा है ये? 1 minute. Wait, I think average ka spelling is wrong. Yeah. So if I give my dashboard to any one newbie and I'll tell him to give me profit, average of profit percentage, he will do this. Okay, he'll create one column called average profit percentage, and he'll create a new calculation called average of this column, which is absolutely wrong. Okay, you cannot work with average like this. Instead of this, what you should have done is, let's say I'll take sum of revenue. I'll take sum of cost. And here I will take revenue minus cost divided by revenue. Okay. This is how you get averages. You can never take average of a percentage or average of an average. That's a wrong concept. Okay. That's not how you work with the ratios. Okay. Always, you can always do the sum of individual column and then take the averages. Okay. So one caveat, because I was working with the average column, I realized I should tell you. So this concept, again, very basic concept, but a lot of people will do the mistake. If you just tell anyone, give me average of profit percentage column, they will, I'm very sure 99% chance is there, they will take the average of this column. Okay. So avoid these kind of mistakes as well. Okay. So now I'll create average ratings. Do we have ratings? Let me see. We should have, by the way, let me see that data. We have day spend, we have reviews, right? Reviews is rating only. So if I search reviews, if I show you how it looks like, by default it will take sum, because all the measures by default are done as sum. This is also Tableau certification question, but it's a default aggregation. Okay. I want an average. I will create a new calculation, which is average rating, and I will take average of maybe reviews. So average rating, if I see I'll remove the points from here, because again, doesn't matter, because reviews will always be in 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? They will never come in ratios. I'll do the number standard. I'll maybe remove it from here, and I'm getting a total average of 3. Again, not very good, but not very bad as well, right? So this looks fine as well. Do I need to create another KPI? Again, I can have n number of KPIs. For example, we should have something called lead time as well. This is also important metric that hospitality companies track. Lead time is if I'm doing a reservation of my hotel, how many more days I'm taking to book that hotel or come to that hotel. Okay, so that's called lead time. These are KPIs. These are domain level knowledge, which people keep on boasting about, that we have domain level knowledge. This is domain level knowledge, that you know what is lead time. Okay. So if I write maybe average lead time, I will do the average. I'll take the lead time. Okay. Now I'll start creating the KPI boxes. So I'll remove everything else. First, I will pick all my calcs. I will need my KPI boxes for these things as of now. First could be total bookings. I will take this on text. Maybe I will write some text here. Bookings. Give me a second. Yeah, it will work. So I will write like this. Okay, maybe I'll increase the size a bit, and this I will make bold. Array, just a second. Bold, and I will increase the size. Okay, maybe I will format it in the center. I will hide the title afterwards. Okay. Also, one more thing. So here, for example, we are working or creating an Airbnb dashboard, right? So let's try to follow their custom themes as of now, because when we try to go in the future, we'll just copy this like sheet everywhere. Okay. So if I am creating a dashboard for, give me a second. Yeah. If I'm creating a dashboard for Airbnb, I'll simply need to copy the Airbnb color codes, right? So maybe I was already searching about it. So we have FD5C63, right? So I'll simply go here. I will try to incorporate the same colors as Airbnb has. So this is the color. Again, same color. It was FD5C63. Okay. So give me a sec. Okay, we have total bookings. We'll start creating other KPIs. Okay, no worries. I'll duplicate it. I will write total revenue. Okay, maybe I will draw revenue in here, and maybe I will add the formatted so that we have the currencies and all those symbols. I will go to currency custom. I will remove the decimals. I will maybe make it K, and maybe we can have one decimal, and I will write the dollars here. Okay. Then I can name it as total revenue, make it like this. Okay, so I'll quickly create duplicates. We have ratings. Total rating is 3, and I will make it rating. Also, when I'm creating a dashboard today, I'll show you some fancy tricks of how do you beautify your dashboard also. Okay. Most probably you would not have heard about these techniques, but yeah, still I'll try to make sure that you are learning something new, even if you know a lot. Okay. So this is my total, not total rating, I would say. This is my average rating. So average rating. I will name the file as total nahi. It should be average rating. Okay. I will dupe this. What else do I need the KPI for? Give me a sec. Chat. Avoid red color. Yeah. Okay. It's a valid point that you are saying avoid red color. It's a, I would say it's a danger color, right? But if the company's entire color palette is red only, if I show you Airbnb, right? So maybe I will see their theme. Maybe I'll show something from here, or maybe in the images also. See the colors. They follow the exact this reddish kind of things also, right? See the logo here. So again, it's a valid point why are you using red colors, but sometimes you can avoid the pre-written rules just to make sure the aesthetics of the companies are being followed here. Okay, so yeah, it's a valid point that use red for the dangers or the maybe some marks which you want to avoid. But if the company's entire color palette is that only, then we can take the liberty of using that. Okay, we'll take the average of cancelled bookings. I will name it cancelled bookings. Change from here. Oops, my bad. Bookings. And we need lead time as well, right? That's, I think, the last KPI. I will duplicate this. I'll take lead time. Damn, this much lead time, 43 days. Okay, we'll see. It seems fishy, right? Also, this is how you debug dashboards, that if there is something wrong in your calculation or the data is wrong, like wrong only, because 43 lead time means people are taking 43 days to maybe reserve something after going to the hotel. So it seems like a huge number. So maybe once we develop the dashboard, we'll see why it's that. Maybe it will be because of data only. Maybe people are engaging with the hotel in this way only, but it seems like a very high number, right? Average lead time. Okay, so let's say these are the KPIs for now. I will name it average lead time. And let's try to first create a, I would say, wireframe, maybe not wireframe, but some layout for the dashboard. And then we'll start plotting sheets, and then we'll start creating that other charts as well. Okay. I'll keep width as 1300, height as 800 for now. Yes. So for this dashboard, I'll try to tell you one neat trick on which how you can make your dashboard look more engaging. That is with the help of GIFs. Okay, so you can embed GIFs into your dashboard. They do make your dashboard look more attractive. Okay, so what we can do is first we are creating Airbnb dashboard. So maybe, okay, I'll check. Lead time is average advertisement booking to checkout. Lead time is ADV booking to checkout. Lead time is if I'm making a reservation today that I want to come to my hotel, let's say after 30 days. Yeah, it's advanced booking. So you can think it's advanced booking, right? Yeah. So 43 days people are doing advanced booking. Again, could be possible, but we will try to see if the data is saying that only. Okay, so let me try to first add the dashboard name. So it's Airbnb. I will try to keep the color like this. Maybe I'll make it bold. Maybe increase the size a lot. Okay. Maybe bookings analysis. Okay. Make it like this. I'll try to give it a slightly unique design, which will look not like the other dashboards. Okay. It's too less. Make it 48. Okay, let's say this is the title. Now I wanted to show you one thing, that you can actually embed GIFs into your dashboard. How do you do that? So let's say Airbnb is a travel company. First, I'll need to find some travel GIF. Go to images and see which GIF looks good to you. This will look slightly childish. This looks, it's not, okay, it's a GIF, but it's PNG. So any GIF which is PNG, you will get some issues in the dashboard because they will render as black color. Okay, so try to avoid the plain colors. This, okay, this looks fine. If I just try to copy, let's say, so okay, so how do you embed images? Simply copy the image address, go to Tableau, go to your objects, and there is a thing called web page. Okay, drag a web page on the screen, and you can embed, copy paste the same URL. Now, if I paste it, if you see, we have the entire video kind of looking in the dashboard. Okay, so if I drag it here, maybe you will need to decrease the size to remove those black, I would say, banners. This will look like this. Wait, yeah, and you will need to do some more sizing. This is the only pain point when you copy something from internet for the GIFs, because again, they will give you these black kind of headers because these are not specifically designed for your dashboard, right? So one quick hack is drop a blank box, make it white color, and superimpose it on top of the pre-existing black banner. Okay, I will copy this and paste it here. Okay, so these kind of things you will find on the internet, and sometimes people realize, okay, how do I do this? Is it too difficult? But it's not. Okay, when you, and when do we use these in real life? So whenever you will work with some marketing folks generally prefer a very visually appealing complementary colors. Okay, they want very good looking dashboard because marketing material will go in the public, right? So whenever your customer slash client is marketing folks, you will need to come up with these funky ideas. If you're working with sales, I would say inventory, old people control those domains, so they won't ask you for this. But generally for the marketing folks, they ask you to create something fancy. Okay, so let me try to give it some more. Maybe I'll add some logo of Airbnb as well. So I'll drag the logos. I should have something here. Maybe center the image. And this is one of my logo. Okay, maybe I will add, oops, I deleted that. I will add it somewhere here. And now if I see, it looks decent, right? It looks decent for a header of a dashboard. So Airbnb booking analysis, and now we'll start adding all those fancy jazz of dashboards, filters, navigation, those kind of things. Okay. Now I will add some container because I want to give some background color. Maybe I'll add some blanks as well. Give me a second. I will quickly add some blanks here. Okay. The reason I added this vertical container, I can explain you that as well. If I don't have any container here, okay, if I try to give a background color, I won't be able to give a background color to my dashboard. Okay, that's why you need at least one container on your screen. Could be vertical, could be horizontal. Okay, so to add container, you will simply drag one container. I prefer vertical container because dashboard you need to have multiple layers from top to bottom. But when you will drag one container, you will think that it will work. It work for the other dashboard, but in our use case, in this use case, it won't work. The reason is if I try to, again, you will be able to give a background color, but if I try to give a background color, see here what's happening. This is not a PNG, right? So it will not look good. So what I wanted to do is I wanted that this section till here should be white, and below that I want to keep a color. Otherwise, we won't be able to match the aesthetics, right? So that's why I added some blanks in the past. Okay, so maybe I will go back. Now, again, I don't want to color everything. So I will remove the color from here. Give me a sec. Now I will add some blanks so that first blank will be dragged till the top header. So I'll explain you. So see, this is one blank and this is the other blank. The top blank I can keep till here and the bottom blank I can give a color. Okay, so if I give a color to this, now my entire dashboard will be colored, but the top section will remain as it is. Maybe I'll need to adjust this thing. Go here, maybe play with the positioning. Perfect. Looks kind of funky. So yeah, now we'll start adding all those KPIs, filters, navigation in the bottom section. Okay. What you can do is maybe you can add some border as well. So add some border of the same color, which is your primary color for the dashboard. This looks decent. And now if I go on the bottom, I'll start to add all those KPIs, right? I should be adding total. Give me a second. I'll add one container first. Let's say I have one horizontal container. Here I will be adding all my KPIs, total bookings, total revenue, average rating, cancelled bookings, average lead time. I can create a number of more KPIs because I have a lot of number column in my data. If you are recreating this dashboard, I will suggest you to add all other KPIs as well. Okay. Maybe adjust the sizing. And this is why we use container, because I will adjust the size only one time and every size will be adjusted. Okay. I will distribute it evenly. I will hide the titles of each sheet. Maybe I'll start making them entire view also. This should be entire view. This should be entire view. This should be entire view. This should be entire view also. Okay. I need to hide title for these. Hide title. Hide title. Okay, looks decent. Maybe I'll decrease the height because we don't require this much space. Real estate space is the real estate for you in the dashboard building process. So try to not add a lot of space if you don't need it. Okay, so we'll try to have this kind of aesthetic to our dashboard. We'll start adding the charts in the bottom. I think 800 as a space will be too less. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how it works. Maybe add something here. And we will have some filter section on the top. For the filter section also, today I will give you one more funky way to add a filter section, which is, okay, let me hide other sheets first. Go here, maybe write home page. And if I show you one way, I'll first maybe drag things on the screen and then I will tell you, okay? Maybe if I have, I'll convert it to discrete dimension. Okay, we are good. If I drag it here, oh, we have just 2015 as arrival date. Let me see. Should we add a month filter? Yes. So give me a second. If I add it like this, maybe I will make it a circle or a square. Okay, so first I'll quickly drag it on the screen and then I'll tell you what I am doing here. Okay, so maybe I will make the color as red. I will hide the labels. Go here, drag this sheet as a floating element. I will hide this. I will make it like this. Hide the title. and maybe hide these borders which are coming here. So right click, format. I don't need my borders, so maybe hide the row dividers. This will be gone. Go back, undo, and now if I close this. So what I'm trying to do here is I am trying to create a filter of months, but instead of having that boring drop down as a filter, I'll create these boxes as a filter. Okay. So maybe I'll give it slightly more color here. So maybe remove the color of this sheet. Go like this. I will try to add some more funky design here. Maybe add some blank box. Maybe this should feel like a connected line. So I will try to add it like this. Okay, bear with me. First, I will create and then I'll explain you what I am doing here. Okay. So you're not left behind. So I will create this. I will color this up. Maybe color it as red. Place it in the back. Okay. So if I zoom it now, yes, kind of looks decent. So what I am trying to do is, see, instead of having those boring filter section, sometime you can add this funky kind of filters as well. So how is this a filter? As of now, it's just one sheet, right? So what I did is I dragged the months because I wanted months as a filter. I dragged it into the columns and I just made it a square. If you make it circle, it will become a circle, right? So I made it a square. Now I have this info like entire sheet displayed here. What I did, I wanted to show them as a connected. So that's why I drag the blank container on top of them. Maybe we should decrease the width of this blank container. Not container, by the way, just a line. So if I decrease the width, now if I see, looks decent, right? Maybe it's popping up from here. I'll do slight deduction in height. Now it looks decent. Now it looks kind that, okay, this is some filter section and they can click on it to filter. But as of now, it's a sheet. It won't filter out something. But if you already remember the concept of how do you make a sheet as a filter, simply click on this button, which is use as filter. If I click here, now see the magic. Go here. They can click on any 1 month and all the data is filtered in the bottom, right? So these kind of funky things you can also do. It's not that you will just use the plain simple drop down as a filter. Okay. Not a lot of people use it or have heard about it. But when you work with marketing client, they will ask you to do these fancy things. Okay. So this is one thing which I wanted to show. I will show you another cool hack to create filters. Okay. So first I'll make sure this is working. Yes. One thing which I can do is when I'm hovering over them, I'm getting a tooltip, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense to have tooltip on filters. Maybe I will remove this tooltip. Show tooltip should be hidden. And now they can simply click and get the filter, right? So looking decent. What I will do is maybe I will drag them slightly in the bottom. Yeah. Yes. So other things I would say, okay, we'll see if I can do it on time, but always try to have some logos in these places as well. Okay. So maybe first though I'll need total booking and cancel booking from left to right. So I'll have this here, but always try to add some logos also on the KPI so that they look good. Bookings, you can find some logos. There's a famous website called 𝗏𝗏. Okay. So this is the website. Here you can find, for example, I want to find a logo for booking. Search, you will get 8,000 free icons. So maybe I can use this one, right? If you want to see for canceled bookings, so maybe write cancel bookings. You will get close to 61 icons for this as well, right? Some of them will be free, some of them will be paid. Most of them will be paid free only, but you can do this. So you can simply click on whichever icon you like and just download the icon, free download. Okay, so this is one way which you get the icons. When you work in company, your graphic designer give it to you, but sometimes you will need to do it on your own as well. Okay, I'll keep checking the chat. Yeah, we are good. Now we'll start adding the charts. The most important chart, as I showed you, is that customer want to see for each month, for each day, how are the bookings happening in his platform. Okay. What I will do is I will drag the month. I will drag the days. Wait. Where is my day? Day of month, right? I will make it as dimension, and this looks fine. I will make it discrete so that it's not a blue. And as I showed you earlier, if you have to represent 3 variables, maybe use a color instead of that entire text. Now, if it's a color, I can decrease the sizing and it will look perfectly fine. I will hide this. I will hide this. Okay. Looks fine. I will make it monthly booking analysis. And if I show you here, yes, looks fine. Go back. Okay, maybe color, try to follow the same aesthetic. Use some reddish color. So it's too dark. Maybe I will go slightly in the back. Okay, this looks decent. Go back, drag this sheet in here. Okay, we have deviated the color, right? Doesn't look the Airbnb reddish. Maybe undo, color, edit. Okay, let me try this one. Apply, go back, add monthly detailed analysis, hide the, okay, let's keep the title because you will need that anyway. Go here and you will need the exact month-wise bar chart as well as I was showing you earlier. So maybe I will add that as well. So maybe add month here and add bookings here. So I'll add total bookings, sort it, use a red color, and maybe make it dependent on the bookings, make it reddish as well. This should be red, make it like this, and it looks decent. Okay, I think I should not have formatted, like sorted the data because the left chart will start from July, August, September, right? So this chart should start from this there as well. So yes, this should be the default format for sorting. I will hide the exact axis. I will make sure I have numbers on my labels. I will make sure I don't have any grid lines. These are column grid lines. Okay, I'll make sure these are okay. I'll hide them anyway, so it doesn't matter. Go on my dashboard, add maybe horizontal container. So I will add both the charts into, give me a second, this container, drag it, oops, wait, drag it here, drag it here, increase the width. And even though I need to add another sheet as well, so I will add it anyway here. So drag it. Wait, where is my container? Give me a second. This is okay. I think we don't have container as of now. So if I double click here, okay, we don't have any container. I think I missed the container. So maybe I will add the container first. Then I will add this sheet into this container. Then I will add sheet 8 into this container. Now I have both the things in this container. Maybe I will go back. I don't need anything else. I will drag it here. I will make sure the container is spanned across the length. I will make sure we have adequate space for this. I will decrease the numbers here. Make sure it's an entire view and it looks fine. Now I need to hide these things. So if I, okay, you will find some problem here. That problem is if I try to hide this. So if I hide this, okay, give me a second. I did a mistake. Maybe, so I don't want to show these numbers again because these months are shown in here only, right? So maybe I will hide the header from here. Go back. Yes, now see, the chart alignment has been shifted slightly up because you hide the labels. So this won't work. A hack is you will need to have some vertical container and add some blanks into it, okay? Which I was showing you yesterday as well. So add some vertical container into it, add some blank into this vertical container, and then maybe I'll increase the width first, and then add the sheet into that container. Okay, what happened? Yes. Now the beauty of this is I can adjust the height because I have some blank container into it, right? So what I will do is I will hide this title first, hide the title. I will hide the title for this sheet as well. So I won't need the title. Now I'll adjust the width of this blank. Okay. Maybe I will make sure that it's not fixed width. Make it like this. Give me a second. I'll make sure it's the entire view. And still I'll need to adjust slightly. That is like this. Let me check. Looks fine. I'll need to add some paddings here because I want to make them look like they're exactly similar. So maybe I'll remove the padding from this chart. Maybe remove the padding from left. Yes, now they look as if they are starting from the same point. Here I can make sure I have no padding on left. And maybe I'll make it blank. And maybe I will decrease all the padding. So maybe padding could be 0. Perfect. And this also should be having padding 0 from top. Give me a second. Maybe I'll need to drag it a bit down. This should also be of no padding from top. So this kind of hacks you just will need to do because you want to make sure they look like a same chart, right? Now you can drag this chart till here. You can decrease the width of this chart. Okay, give me a second. Maybe okay, is it stuck? Yes, it is. Make it like this. And now if I will show you from top, yes, so this will help you to get the entire booking scenario, right? So see here, for each month, for each date, I can see which month was good for me, which month was bad for me. That's one point. And the aggregated value also for each month I can get. So I can see that, okay, September was the best month for me and the best day was 25th. July was the worst month for me. I got only 2 bookings on 29th and 30th. That's what I am seeing here as well. Okay. So sometimes you need to add these kind of hacks into a dashboard to make sure that you are giving the big picture to the client. Now what I will do is maybe decrease the padding from right. I'll need to increase the dashboard height a bit because otherwise I will not be able to add other charts. Maybe I will make it 1200 and I will, okay. I'll quickly adjust the sizings. Adjust it from here. Adjust it from the top. So this is the con of using everything as floating. Okay, whenever you will try to make any adjustment on the size, they will just move away from the exact layout. Okay, so that's why these KPIs and everything I wanted to keep in a container, because even if I change the layout, they will try to be in the same positions, right? Maybe I will make it like this. Make it like this. Now move this slightly on top. Move this as well so that they look connected. Yes, now I will pick this, move it on top till here. This should also be slightly adjusted. And now I'll move it slightly on top. Okay. This will be my chart, and then I can add other charts if I want. Maybe I will decrease the width, or sorry, height, and now I can add all the other chart which I need. Maybe I need to give some title to this entire chart. So let me try to do one thing. If I include a title here, I'll need to do something here as well. So maybe give me a sec. Format, make it white. This is fine, but you'll need to make sure this grayish thing is not coming. So the hack is make the background as white. That will be disappeared. Maybe make this as bold. Maybe make it slightly grayish. It's too much black. Then in here, maybe adjust the size again. Okay, perfect. This I can, okay, we'll maybe remove the padding from right. Perfect. Now they looks exactly like a similar chart, but they are not. We know they are two different charts, right? So maybe start adding the borders. Okay, give me a second. What happened to this sheet? This is having some border on the bottom, make it 0. And now if I add a border on the boundaries, this is my border. Maybe slightly lesser dark, make it maybe third one from the bottom will be decent. Yeah, it looks decent. I'll do the same thing on this box, add a border from the third bottom, and it looks fine. See from here, you will have your title, you will have your filters, you will have your KPIs, and you will have the master chart, right? Whenever I will click, let's say, okay, I will filter it for something. I'll click on October. All the dashboard will be filtered for that specific thing, right? So see here, the KPIs are filtered and the chart is filtered as well. Okay, so I'll try to add other charts now. Maybe this should have 0 padding. Okay, so this looks decent. What I'll do is, give me a sec, I'm just trying to be nitpicky here, but I'll try to make sure it's entirely aligned with our chart. Okay, I'll copy this, place it on top. Okay, so this will look fine. And now I can add all the other things in the bottom. Perfect. Now I'll go back. I'll start getting the other charts. So I'll hide all other sheets, hide other sheets. This I don't need. Hide, maybe delete this. So I don't need this. I don't need this. Okay. So I will go back here, and now we'll need to create other charts, right? If you remember, we have the owner information as well. So for each owner, you have the images as well, right? So if you want to show them the owner information, so let's say the client wanted to see for each Airbnb who is the owner, you have all that information as well. So maybe if I show you here, you have owner names. So maybe what you can do is, again, you need to make sure owner image is tagged as URL. So you can have owner names, you can have owner images, and maybe who made the best transactional profit, or maybe best amount who got. So bookings, maybe we can use total booking can be used here, maybe sorted from top to bottom. And I will make sure this is slightly bigger, and this could be give me a second. This we don't need. I will exclude this. So I'll try to exclude all those owners of the Airbnbs who don't have images as of now, because again, they won't look good on the dashboard. But ideally in the real life, you should not do it. Don't exclude anything on the screen, okay? Exclude. Looks fine, and I'll exclude them. Okay, now I'll get for each owner, what is the exact number of bookings they have got, and maybe I can add the other changes as well. For example, how many were cancelled. I will increase the width. So I have total bookings which they got, and I have total cancellation which they got. So if I'm a owner of maybe Airbnb, I can see which Airbnb owner is doing good and who is getting maximum cancellation, so that I can maybe send him mail that what are you doing, or those kind of things, right? I can do the formatting so that I don't have decimals in here. I'll do the same thing for this, remove the decimals. I will maybe make it entire view. Oops, my bad, entire width. Okay, so what else can I show? Maybe I'll hide these bluish kind of formatting, so grayish formatting. So maybe I will go here. I change the row bending formatting. So go to rows, maybe make it reddish. Let's see how it looks. No, it's not good. Maybe none. Yeah, it's fine only. I'll make sure this is none as well. So header should be none as well. I can have for each image, maybe I will increase. Okay, this will start blurring up. I won't do that. And for the text, I will increase their font sizes. Apply. They look decent. I will go here. And if I try to use maybe major values on the colors, let me see how it looks. No, it won't look good. Okay, so let's try to keep this as of now. Maybe I will hide the labels. So what here I'm trying to tell the users is, for each owner, they can see what kind of transaction they are doing, right? Maybe you can add other KPIs as well. For example, how much amount did they get? So this could be a one KPI. And this we can make it as a currency. So format as currency, go to currency custom, make it a dollars. And it looks decent. Maybe hide the decimals or make it K in here. Okay, I'll keep it here and I'll go here. I will drag the owner information on the screen. Make it like this. Make it as a background white, and maybe Airbnb owner analysis. Make it maybe this, we can make it bold and use Airbnb color. Go on top, monthly. I'll make it monthly Airbnb analysis. Make it as the same color. This looks decent. Okay, this formatting is not matching with the bottom. I will copy this. Make it Airbnb owner analysis. This should be reddish. This can go as normal black. Okay. Now if I make it a border in the background, if I try to increase the width, and okay, some formatting is needed, but I think we should not have this much spanned table. We should have some other chart also, because it's horizontally, it's too much, occupying a lot of space, right? So even the information is required, but we should not have this much span of a table. So maybe we should have some other chart on the left or maybe on the right. Okay, so let's see that. We can have something on here, then we can have the owner analysis. Okay, or maybe this is sticking too much to the left. I will add some padding to the left side. So maybe add some 5-pixel padding. Okay, give me a second. I added the outer padding by mistake. It should be inner padding and it looks decent. Yeah. And what I can do is the text are getting trimmed. Maybe increase the height of the headers and it looks decent, right? Now I'll add some other chart on the right side. So let me check it quickly that the filters are working or not. If I add any filter, and this is also getting filtered out, right? remove this, and I'll add maybe some kind of other analysis. So this sheet is for owner analysis. And let's try to add some other analysis. Do we have countries in here? We have country names. So let me try to do something with this. So we have country names. If I track a map, let me try, give me a second. It won't look good. So, no, let me try to drag latitude and longitude and add the countries now. So add the countries in maybe, okay, I'll make it as a shape, add a country name in here, add all fields here, and it should start populating, right? So what I can do is, instead of using, okay, first I'll make sure that I'm creating the chart entirely. So we'll use the bookings as a KPI, so that if a country has more bookings, that should have a greater emphasis on the chart. So maybe total booking could be coming on the size. This will look decent. And what I can do is, give me 1 second. If I increase the size. Okay, I'll tell you one more hack which you can try. That is, instead of showing random things on the screen, you can show Airbnb actual logos on top of these images. Okay, so what I can do is Airbnb logo, copy any one logo. Maybe this one. Give me a second. This one looks decent, but it is not PNG, right? So PNG. Which logo I can take? Is this a PNG? It's not. Give me a second. If I try this, otherwise I will need to find something else. Is this a PNG? No, it's not. It's too tough to find PNGs nowadays. Okay, let me see. It seems like a PNG. So what we will do is, we will go on here. We will try to, okay, my finder is stuck. Okay, so maybe I'll do that change afterwards. But what I'm trying to do is, instead of having circles, I will have Airbnb logos in here. Okay, so that might take a lot of time in here because my finder gets stuck sometimes. So see this one, I can't click somewhere. So I'll need to restart the system, but I'll do that. Okay, when I'm publishing the dashboard for you guys, I'll make sure that I'm changing the logos in here. So what I can do is, in the home page, I can have a country analysis on the bottom left. I will make sure that this is removed. This is coming like in here, and here I will write Airbnb. Okay, maybe I'll use the same format. Okay, maybe Airbnb is already written. Country-wise analysis. Okay, I'll make like this. I'll make the background as white. This looks decent. Maybe I will add the border as well. And if I try to see the chart now, does it make sense? Or does it flow according to the story? So I'll have total KPIs, I'll have the daily and monthly analysis, and I'll have country-wise analysis, and I'll have the owner analysis. In this, maybe need to add some more information. So maybe total bookings, I'll add it somewhere on label. No, it won't look good. Or maybe in the label only. If I okay, maybe I'll change the tooltip that this is country, and we have total bookings. Okay, looks fine. I will, or maybe I'll do one more thing. So remove this, add bookings into the color, add countries into detail. Okay, this also looks good. I can make its color as red. Make its color as red. Make it like this. And this looks decent. Okay, so instead of having different color for different countries, I'll have just one same semantic color. Now I will go here. I'll try to decrease the width of these rows because it's occupying too much space. Maybe this will be decent. Go back. I'll have all the information here. This looks decent. I have filters. Okay. On the filters, I want to show you one more hack and trick, which is as of now, if you see on the screen, we just have one filter, which is the month filter. But if you want to add some more filters, so we'll try to add that, but we'll try to add that in a hidden way. Okay. I'll try to tell you what is the meaning of hidden way. So first of all, let me try to add the filters in here. I'll add the country filter in one sheet, maybe. Add here. I'll add owner filter, maybe. I'll add owners in here. I'll add some other filters. Could be, let's say, customer type. Could be, for example, market segment. Okay, so let's say, for example, as of now, we have these 4 filters. Now, what I will need to do is I will need to pull these filters. So pull country as a filter, pull customer type, pull the market segment, pull the owner name, and pull the, okay, these are enough for now. So what I will do is these are hidden in the bottom. Give me a second. Okay, I need to find these things because if you see the logos or the filters have gone in the bottom, right? So you need to do some hack of finding them where they are placed. Instead of clicking here, you won't be able to click them because they're back of the chart. So use the layout navigator. Here you can see we have a special logo for the filters, right? So here if you see, it's present in here. Now I can simply make it floating so that it will come in the front. Now this is in the front. I will make it drop down. Okay. Do the same thing for other filters. Select the filter from the left pane, make it drop down, make it floating. Do it for country as well, make it floating and make it drop down. So it should be drop down. Do the same thing for the last filter, which is owner name, make it float and make it drop down. Okay. Now what I wanted to tell you is I'll do one thing. I'll take a vertical container. I will take a vertical container and I'll drag all these filters into this container. Okay. So maybe I'll drag this. I will drag country filter. I'll add market segment filter. What else do I need to add? These are the, oops, give me a second. Yeah, where is my last filter? Let me see that. Oh, here it is, right? So I will drag this in here as well. So now I'll maybe color this container something else. So I will color it white maybe. So I will make the color as white. Yeah, I will make it maybe slightly more longer. So the purpose of me showing you this approach is always I have told you that maybe add a filter on top as a section, add a filter on left as a section, right? But sometimes you can hide them, means in that, as we see in the application side, when you click on something, the filters come up. When you click again, filters go away. You can do those kind of fancy things as well. It's very easy. So simply, for example, if I want to make sure that these filters are hidden, and if I click on any one button, then these filters pop up. How will I do that? Simply click on these 3 dots. Click on this button, add, show and hide. Now see this. It has added one button here, which is a cross button. If I add it somewhere here, maybe I'll increase the sizing of this. Now see, if I hide it, my filters will be hidden. If I click it, give me a second, my filters will be shown. Okay, maybe I need to do the formatting so that it looks like it's coming from this button only. So I will do this like here. I will make sure this is like this. And when I click again, this will be hidden, right? So see here, this somehow is behaving like I have a filter section, but that is hidden for now. I will simply click on this, filter will pop up. I'll click here again, filter will remove a bit. Okay. So this trick also you need sometime when you don't have a lot of real estate. Here, for example, I wanted to have a one big filter for a month, but where will I add other filters? For the other filters, I will add a hidden button here. Simply click, filter will be shown. Click again, filter will be lost. Maybe add a border around it so that you know this is a separate section. So maybe add a border around this, add a thicker border maybe, and maybe, oh, give me a second. Now if I see it from here, maybe I'll increase the size of this section, increase the width and height. Okay, now if I click here, this will be hidden. If I open this, this will open up, and now I can see it's a separate dedicated section, right? So these kind of hacks you also use in real life. When you don't have enough real estate, you will just hide the filters into the buttons. Okay, so maybe what I will do is we have KPIs, we have Airbnb analysis, we have country-wise analysis, we have owner analysis. Maybe I can have another additional page, I would say, that would be called, for example, drill down page. And I can have other kind of analysis in there. Okay, because this is the major crux which companies want to track. How many bookings they are getting, which countries performing good, which owners are performing good. All the other analysis could be secondary analysis for you. And you can add all the other analysis in a separate page. Okay, so maybe I will come down and we will first of all do some cleanup, hide all the sheets. This looks decent only. Duplicate this dashboard and remove all the sheets because now I'll add all the other analysis which I want in here. Hide this, and hide this as well. Okay, so again, obviously this will be lost because you remove the charts from here. Now go like this. And now I can add all the other analysis which I want in this page. Okay, so this could be my detailed analysis. Okay, so in detailed analysis, if you want any other kind of analysis, for example, you have a lot of dimensions in here, right? Maybe you want to see the cancellation analysis, but let me see how many cancellation do we have in total. Okay, we just have total 6 cancellations. So creating a dedicated page to see how many cancellation are there doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe we'll see for the bookings. Okay, so for the booking, we have a slight bigger booking. So we have a lot of bookings. So maybe we'll do the analysis of this booking. So maybe you want to see the booking analysis on top of types. Maybe I will add booking in here. Maybe I can use bar chart for this. We have just 2 numbers to represent. I will sort this. Maybe make it hide the axis. Maybe add it in the labels. Make the color as this. Maybe add a color in here. Now change the color to reddish color. Okay, so this can look good. I will make sure the grid lines are hidden. I will make sure my grid lines are hidden. And I will make sure this is my entire view. I'll make sure this is starting from left. So alignment should be done from here. And I can have some more analysis. So this would be, let's say, type analysis. Now, if I go again here, I can have n number of analysis. So let's say you want to see customer type. What are the customer types here? Contract, transient, and transient play. Let's say you want to see out of entire bookings, how much contribution is each of these customer type representing. You can do that maybe with the help of pie chart. Again, I told you not to use pie chart, but whenever you will represent a something or some part out of whole, you will use a pie chart. Or generally when you represent percentage out of total, you will use a pie chart. Okay, so maybe let's say you have total bookings. So you will represent something. Maybe I can make it a circle. Have total bookings in here. and I can make it entire view. I will hide this, increase the size, hide the lines. So these are my row grid lines like this. Maybe add customer type. Give me a sec. No, it won't work like this. I'll convert it to pi. Make it like a size. Decrease the size here. Okay, so we can have something of this kind. I'll make sure the colors are slightly of red palette. Red and gold, assign palette. This could be slightly like this, make it like okay. Drag customer type names on the labels as well. So these are transient party. Maximum contribution is done by transient party bookings. So I will make sure that I'm dropping the total booking as numbers also. So the maximum number of bookings are from transient parties. If I want to show the percentage out of total, simply click here, simply do the quick table calculation of percentage of total. Okay, so here we can see the maximum is 45.20%, which is from the transient party customers. Maybe I will format it slightly. So make it bold, increase the size. Okay, my bad. Always try to make sure the numbers are emphasized instead of the labels. Okay, I will cut this in a second. I will make sure this is my center aligned text. This should be bold. Okay, this looks good. This could be my customer type analysis. What else dimension do we have, which could be useful for the customers or for the users? So we have total users. We are not showing somewhere, right? We are not showing anywhere, if I'm not wrong, total users or total customers. We are not, right? So maybe I can show that. So do I have adults, I have children, I have babies. Okay. So if I want to show how many total customers came into my hotel, as of now, I don't have any one KPI for that. I have three separate columns. One is adults, one is babies, one is children. Total users should be the sum of all these columns. Agreed? So what I can do is oops, my bad. I can create a new field called total users, which will be adults plus babies plus children. Okay, so this could be one of my analysis point. So maybe I want to show total users for each. What dimension do you want to see it for? Maybe I want to see it for a market segment because we haven't done any analysis on the market segment. Maybe give me a second. I can use a heat map. So I know that the maximum kind of users are coming or maybe making the bookings with the help of online travel agents. Okay, the minimum are with the help of complimentary. So complimentary means they are getting the free tickets, which by just seeing the data makes sense also. No one should be getting free access of the Airbnbs. So maybe I will make sure the same theme is followed in here. I will make sure I am dropping some user analysis here. So maybe I will add it on the label. I will add maybe how many days did they stay. So, okay, doesn't make sense because I should not show how many days did they stay because here I'm not showing the customers, right? So why would it make sense that I'm showing that total number of 559 days were spent by a customer who did online TA or maybe made a booking through online transaction, right? So whenever I'm showing something of customers, then I can show that how many days they stay. But here it won't make much sense. Maybe I will make sure the number is bold. Okay, okay. The order is opposite. Make it like this. Make it like this. Make it okay. And this could be entire view. And we can have maybe this is user analysis, customer type analysis, and we can have one that same drill down dedicated table, a big long table. You will try to have that table in any dashboard which you create. Okay, so maybe try to create a table which will have everything. So maybe country, they have country names, you have distribution channels. Distribution channel, by the way, could be a good analysis point for you as well. If you are trying to pick this dashboard, you can do some kind of chart on the distribution channel also. Have market segment, have what kind of meal did they order, have things like how many, okay, let me try to see the calculations. How many revenue did we got from them? So maybe add it on text. What was the lead time? What was the ratings? What was the revenue, total bookings, and total cancel bookings? Okay. Rating is also a good parameter which you can add. So let me see, we have added that, right? So I will go into this sheet. This could be acting as my detailed drill table. I will make sure I have enough space in here. Maybe I will make sure it's fit width. This is cancelled. I will make sure it's slightly bigger. Yes. Now this will be my drill table. Go back to the detail analysis and start pointing out your charts here. We could be starting from customer type analysis. Drag it on here. We don't need any labels because we already are showing the information on top of the charts only. Maybe make it white, make it slightly bigger in size. And okay, first I'll drop the charts and then we'll do the formatting. You can have something for user analysis, increase the size, make it background and border should be 3rd gray, make it border as 3rd gray, come down. Okay, what I can do is maybe I can drag all the charts in one and bottom should be for the table. This could be my 3rd point of analysis. Drag it here, remove it from here, increase the height, make sure it is white, hide the row label, add the border, and in the bottom you will be adding that detail table. So come down, add the drilled table in here, make sure that you are populating it to the entire pane. Okay, wait, what did I do here? Okay, it's going beyond the space, right? Let me check. Yes, it's going beyond the space. I'll need to adjust it from here, adjust it from here. This would be fine. I will make sure this is also formatted in the same way, make it white, make it 3rd gray. If I try to see it like this, looks decent. I should have same formatting for the titles, by the way. So first I will do is I will hide all the other sheets. I will try to copy the formatting of titles. I will go back to the detailed analysis, paste it here. Okay, so this is Airbnb customer type analysis. This is Airbnb user. Okay, you copy this. User analysis. Also, I am doing a slight mistake deliberately here. Not a mistake, but a aesthetic mistake. So I should maybe let you guys to recreate a dashboard and then point out that which was that mistake. Okay. So maybe type analysis, Airbnb type analysis. And this be master Airbnb drill down table. Okay. I'll make sure each chart will filter the other charts. So configure them like that way only. This and maybe, yes, that is working. So I'll make sure that the charts are filtering this other charts also. If I am selecting online market, Yes, it's filtering out. And if I use this, it's also filtering out. I will go back, and now we need to maybe somehow link these two pages, because as of now there is no linkage between the pages. So maybe okay, I'll add the navigation button. Go to dashboard, add navigation button. This could be edit. Give me a second. Edit button. Navigate to detailed analysis, and maybe I'll use some image for this. So maybe button image for, okay, link image PNG, not like this. It should be align K. I can use some PNG, or maybe go to PNG. Go to, so I'll use some image to refer that, okay, it's a button, instead of having the text, because I have already created some buttons in the past with the help of text. So external page. Yes, this could be a good logo. Click here, save image as, or maybe copy the image only. Cancel, copy the image address, go back in Tableau, and in here, oh, okay, give me a second. You can only choose an image, you can't have a URLs, no worries. Right click, save image as. In the desktop, I can save. I will go back to Tableau, choose a button. This is my button, click OK. And if I click OK, this is my button, right? Now I can have this somewhere on my dashboard. Where should I keep it? Give me a second, let me see. Okay, we can have something in here only, right? So if they want to go to detailed analysis, they will simply need to click on this image. Now let me check if it's working or not. If I click here, they will be taken down to this page. Now, I need one more button here that will take me back to that page, right? So I will drag the same navigation button here. Edit the button. This should take me back to the home page. So back to the home page. This should be the same button. And on tooltips, maybe you can write go to home page. Okay. Click OK. Drop it on here. Okay, so if I go here, I'll have two buttons. This is the drill down page. I'll click here. I'll take it to the main page. If I click here, I'm in the drill down page. So give me a second. Maybe I'll change the title here. Maybe I will write drilled detailed analysis. Okay, so that the pages should tell you that, okay, you are in different page. This is your welcome page, and this will be your, give me a sec. Okay, we did a mistake. This should be the main page. So this should have been booking analysis only. So booking analysis, and this page should have been detailed analysis. Now if I check it from here, I am in the booking analysis. Go back. Yes, it looks fine, right? Now let me check if everything is filtering and working fine. This thing is working. This filter is working as well. And in the home page, so we already checked it. So let's say for November, we get the entire analysis, right? So yeah, again, we can do a lot more into this dashboard, but the purpose for this dashboard was to tell you how do we create or cater the marketing audience, or the audience which has hospitality as a domain, because they are more customer centric. For them, you need to create more visually appealing dashboards. Now, how do you create more visually appealing dashboard? By just including GIFs into the dashboard, by having some fancy filters into the dashboard, by having, let's say, this hidden filters into the dashboard, or maybe having some buttons instead of text. Okay. And maybe whenever you are showing some image, maybe have the image instead of just the names. So again, it depends entirely on the audience whenever you are catering. So that's why whenever you are deciding what to build in the dashboard, your first question should be, which is my audience? If your audience is, let's say, CEO, CXO level, they will just want to see the drill down numbers, some bar charts. They don't want to see the cool looking visuals on the screen. But if you're catering to the, let's say, newer audience, the marketing teams, because they are more customer facing, they will want something cool looking, because then they can simply take a screenshot and post it on the social media as well. Okay, so I'll take a pause here. Let me see. Yeah, it's working, right? So, okay, maybe we should add some filter here. It's looking slightly missing, right? So we should do justice to this space also. So I'll do one thing. So I'll do one thing, which is I'll go here. These filters should be applied to everything. So apply this to every sheet. And meanwhile, if you think you have any question in any of the way, approach, formula which I wrote today, make sure that you are asking me. Okay, I'll take that up. Now I'll pull these filters. Customer type, market segment, owner name. Yeah, these are enough. Now I will multiple values drop down. What else do I have? I have this should be drop down as well. This should be drop down as well. This should be drop down as well. Okay, I'll take a container, could be a vertical container. Now I'll start dragging these things into the container. So I'll drag this, I'll drag this, I'll drag this. Okay. Now what I need to do, I need to give a color to it so that it looks like a single entity. Now I need to give a background border as well so that it looks a separate thing from the other things. And the final thing is I just need to click here and add a show height button. Now this button I can show somewhere here, increase the height. Now if I click on this button, give me a sec. It is working. Yes, it is working right now. I'll just make sure that the position is same. So, okay, let me unselect. This button is placed at 31229. Maybe I'll take a screenshot. I'll take the same pixels for the other page. Go to the other page, and this is 31. This is 229. This is 69. This is 56. Okay, perfect. Now if I go back, I have the filter section in every page. I have in here and I have in here as well, right? Okay, so yeah, I think it looks decent. It solves the purpose of giving me the entire booking analysis of my Airbnb. Thank you.
So that is what I had for all of you in this amazing video. I'm pretty sure you have learned a lot, and now you know the entire journey of building these cool dashboards using the Tableau, and I hope you will implement it end to end and add this project in your resume to make your chances better for more number of interview opportunities. If you have done it, then do let us know in the comment section as well, and share your honest feedback for this project in the comment section as well. And don't forget to enroll yourself in the upcoming new batch of data engineering bootcamp, which is data engineering 4.0 with AWS, a very extensive basic to advanced and a zero to hero kind of bootcamp for all the aspiring data engineers, where everything will be in the live classes and with the dedicated placement assistance. So hurry up, enroll today. The link has been given in the description, or you can visit www.growdataskills.com, and don't forget to avail the early bird offer valid for only 50 users. Make sure to use the coupon code FIRST50. If you have any doubt, any query, make sure to call or drop a WhatsApp message on this given number. I will see you all in the live classes very soon. Till then, just keep exploring data.